Hello, your call cannot be taken at the moment, so please leave your message after the tone.
Three, two, one.
And good evening. Thank you very much for not joining me. Watchers, 0. Where are you? What's going off? I've been on a live stream for absolutely months. Not realistic. Got loads to talk about. Got a couple of special guests on tonight. Some pictures to show you. Some news announcement at 9:30 for the club. Talking about all kinds of stuff tonight. So, without further ado, let's get my co-host on, Mr. James Groves here. Good evening, James.
Good evening, Mark. How are we doing? How are we feeling, mate?
I'm not too bad, love. I'm not too bad. I've got a heat pad on, but I haven't taken any medication tonight. Today is what's the date today, mate? Saturday, 22nd of March. 22nd. I've not taken no meds today because I want to have a Guinness a little bit later on. That's cooling in my fridge.
Good. Well, I've got a bed,
yeah, mate. I'm hoping you're tidy. I'm hoping that the heat pad sort of just takes a little bit of the pain off, if you will. I've got my webcam on tonight. I'm not on the top. I'm down at the bottom. And the second one, 2 out of 3, is our Aid. Good evening, Aid.
Good evening. How are you doing, Mark? Long time no see.
I know, mate. I've not been up really. I've been. I've had a bit of time off work, Cock. I've not been feeling too good. I pulled
it on the grapevine. You've had a problem with your back.
Yeah, mate. I'm just saying to James, I've got a couple of heat pads on. Well, one couple. I've got one on. But you have to put them on outside your t-shirt, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they burn your skin. But it does feel quite nice and warm. And then sleeping with a fucking hot water bottle down halfway down my back. But other than that, been okay.
How's the family?
Family is good. Mrs. is good. George got mathematician of the fortnight at the start of the week. I've got Charlie. I'm going up to see Charlie hopefully on Thursday. I need to book a holiday actually. Just reminded me. Need to go and see Charlie. Got some special things to do with her on Thursday and Friday, so I'm hoping I can get the 2 days off.
Nice.
That request will be going in on Monday morning.
George obviously got his brains from his mother then.
Most definitely, mate. Yeah, she's the scholar. Piss taking twat. Yeah, she's the scholar. Is our Sal. Mate, I don't make no bones about it. I'm as thick as a canteen loaf, mate.
Good evening, Rob.
You're in good company then.
Very much so, yeah. James, thank you very much. James is going to keep an eye on the comments tonight as they are coming in. Now he's all tech savvied up.
Yeah, trying to.
So, let's
It's been that long, mate.
I know. It's really weird because the camera's down here now. It's usually up at the top. It's down here now. So you've probably got a really rough shot in here as well. Let's have a look. Let's have a chat at what we've been doing. What you been up to, James? What you do? What you building? Are you on with anything at the minute?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, well, the Phantom's coming along lovely, mate. That's coming along really nice. That's it's getting there. All got sorted up. Wheels is on as well. So it's just a tailplane to put on, but yeah, I'll get there.
Let's have a look at that rear end again. The rear end. Oh, I bet that took some masking, didn't it?
Oh yeah, a little help from Mark. But I ain't got.
Yeah, that's got Mark written all over it.
Yeah, it has.
Happy days. And James, while we stay with you, so you've got some news for us. 5th of April, what's happening?
I'm coming up, mate. I'm actually making the effort to run up to Sescu to stay there for the day and hopefully be welcomed in by your club.
Happy days, tidy.
I'm jealous, mate. I'm jealous.
We're not going to mention the other guy because he's not here yet. Just before I carry on, before I carry on, I must mention I actually have a TikTok account as well. You know, at the end of I don't make any money off anything, but at the end of the day, the more sort of people that can see, the more people that can see what I do, the more knowledge I can share with people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, mate.
So, my TikTok account, the reason that I put that picture up there is because the bottom left corner there, which is the thumbnail to this video, which is entitled "We're Back" with Paul, James and Adi, has got 734 views so far, which isn't a lot. I know I don't do this for views. I do it so that I can share on the knowledge. And I did say, if you are I'm going to mention the TikTok people tonight. If you are on TikTok, if you're one of my TikTok viewers, people that look at me short videos, please jump onto the comments and say hello. You can see, and that leads me nicely on to glasses on. That leads me nicely onto the top right-hand corner there, which is the tram intruder. I'll have to move it over. Cockpit instrument panel and the engines, which brings me on to Rob. Rob saying your intruder was looking great. Making one myself at the minute. Creative are doing read that. I can't see that, James.
That's it. I think that's the instrument panels, mate. Creative.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing them for about 80 quid, which is about
right, cool.
Because I think that's not only is that the cockpit, it's the seat detail as well, isn't it?
It is, mate. Yeah, it is. And thanks for that, Rob. Yes, it's turned out absolutely cracking as that cocker. Dave Taylor, I have actually got Dave on my little bit of a notes sheet tonight. Dave, your sprue holder is in the post today. I did send you some pictures, love, on Messenger. If you want to wait until it comes, till you open it to see exactly what I've done for you, you can obviously do it that way. Or if you want to have a look at your Facebook messages, I have added some pictures on there. If you literally can't wait, I hope you can wait. Actually, I hope you can wait, mate.
Yeah. Thank you for the update, Rob.
Yes, cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
And that's from Creative Models, mate. That's what he meant.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. So, what's that say? That says the 132.06 just. Right. Yeah, I got you. Cheers, Mucker.
I did say at the moment. Yeah, that's a good price. That is.
Yeah, it is. I did say on the video, if I saw it at a show, I would literally be wrestling it off anybody that fancied going and trying taking it off me. Such a glorious kit it is, and I hope that was portrayed in the video. Next gentleman, Aid. So, Aid, have you been poorly, mate? And have you not been doing notes either?
Yeah, well, it's just my heart problems, normal stuff. Been in hospital, had a bit of a funny a couple of weeks ago. Spent a few days in hospital. I'm all right. It is what it is, as they say.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But I got a little bit doing. I mean, I did message you a few, I don't know, about a month ago about because I've been doing the 132nd Revel Tornado.
Nice.
MRP. I'm a few days away from the bench, but I've been referencing your videos and what have you. So I'm trying to get it as well. If I can get it as half as good as you get yours, I'll be well happy.
Shut up.
So, but yeah, so I mean, videos that you've done have been a massive help, especially with the black bass in and doing all the modelling and stuff under and the colours and what have you. So it's great help, and I'm enjoying it. Really enjoying it.
Good stuff. That's good. So I've got some huge news about the club, but I'm saving it for a bit later on. It's absolutely massive news. It's huge. It's huge. We'll leave that there. So
you should have a little da da da.
I know. I have to get some sound effects on. So last year, I'll tell you what I've been doing. Obviously, I finished that intruder off the tram. That were gorgeous. And then a gentleman contacted me early last year on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well. And what's that say?
It's me. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. Right, so a gentleman contacted me early last year on Instagram and said, I've been following you on Instamark. I follow you on YouTube. I think, will you build me a commission build? And I said, yeah, of course I will. What's up, mate? What you got? He says, my dad were in RAF. And I think he worked at RAF Coningsby, if I'm not mistaken. The home of the F3. I know that Revel do an F3. Is there any chance? And obviously back in the day, I was well into my tornadoes. I still love them now. In fact, I've got one up there to do. But I said, yeah, go on. Yeah, I'll do it. I can't remember if I bought the kit or whether did I buy the kit? I can't remember. But anyway, I built it. I built it to the standard that I do. And then obviously because it's fragile, because there's flaps down and buckets out and one thing and another. Bearing in mind this guy lives like down south, not as far as down south as James, but RAF Coningsby. I couldn't tell you exactly where it is. I think it's Lincoln Way, is it, James?
Yeah, I believe so, mate. I know we stayed at a caravan park.
Yeah,
we were right in the flight path, so yeah. Brilliant.
So, it says no, don't post it. I'll come up for it. And the gent and his missus actually drove up. The gent and his missus drove up from the place and came and collected it, and obviously give me a very, very generous purse. That is the build. I'm just going to pop that on, just so that you can see it. That's what I did for him. Can you see that?
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Stunner.
The Revel kit, the 1 in 48 Revel kit. I know I've done loads of videos on how to do buckets, how to do the flaps, well every aspect of it. There's quite a few gentlemen that's been out and put videos on, and I'm hoping that the ones that I've put on have helped people along the way. But that's what I did for him. And he was absolutely over the moon with that. So where does that lead me? That leads me on to saying after the tram, he contacted me again and said, look, I've got a base, I've done a diorama. I'll put that back up actually. I've got a base, a diorama, and I've got a little Asagawa sort of figures set, if you will. With some, I think there's an engine starter and a fuel truck and that sort of thing.
Like the carrier crew, or the ground crew type stuff.
Yes, mate, the ground crew. And said, would you mind awfully building me that, knocking me that together? He's actually contacted me tonight while me and James and Adi have been sort of warming up in the green room. And said, I'm working up in Leeds next week, mate. Do you want me to come and pick it up? And I've said, too late, mate. It's in the post. It's in the post, mate, already. So hopefully he'll be happy with that. But that is to go with the F3 that you can see on your screen now. Revel 1 in 48 F3. James, back to comment. In fact, Paul, good evening.
Good evening,
hello, stranger.
Oh, how you doing, boy? How you doing?
All right. You're all right, mate. I believe you're a long time no see.
I know, yeah,
I've been for a while. You've been ill, haven't you?
I'm just saying to the lads, I've got a heat pad on, but I'm not taking any tablets tonight because I might have a cheeky Guinness. I haven't had a drink for since Christmas.
Your back's full, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better now, mate. I've visited a fantastic physio about 3 weeks since, and she showed me all these moves about and how to stand. I know it sounds stupid, but how to stand up out of a settee and how to roll out of bed. And she showed me all this. I had her on the Wednesday, and she sent me all these exercises with email and stuff. And I cracked on Thursday, and on the Friday, I'm talking 2 weeks since now. On the Friday, that was first time that I got out of bed without any backache at all because I've been doing all these exercises.
I know what you mean. I know what you're feeling, mate. I suffer from my back myself, mate.
Yeah, killer. The guys at work have been fantastic. They've eased me back in. I'm not doing a phased return, but I am on a big machine, sat down, and I can stand up in it as well. It's called a VNA. It stands for Very Narrow Aisle Truck. We put pallets away in racking and shit. So I've been lucky. They've looked after me. It's been good.
Yeah, well, at least you're better than you're back at work now and stuff. So happy days.
Yes, Cocker. Yeah. Right, James. Go on. You crack on with comments, Cocker. Start. Where are you starting?
Rob, I was going to say Rob's the last one there. Dave commented on the F3, mate, saying it's stunning.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
And Rob there saying that the 48 kits are nice, but you can't beat the 32nd. Paul will agree with that one.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a convert now. I've done a few 132nd kits now, and I'm going to really struggle to go back to 148.
Go big or go home.
Yeah,
go home.
Apparently, there's been an announcement. The World War II British fighter, the Bolton Paul Defiant.
Oh yeah.
Apparently there's a 30-second scale kit of that coming out, but it's apparently it's resin printed.
Yeah, right.
That's going to be expensive then.
That's going to be expensive, yeah.
We're all breaking up tonight.
Oh dear.
Mark's frozen, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he has, yeah.
Where is Mark?
There he is.
There he is. He's back now.
Oh, it's there. It's all right. Sorry, mate. I'm just looking for something. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Right. Yeah, because obviously we're talking about it, so I'm going to see if I can find some photos.
On a side note, I did see that Kyoto are doing a 132nd Hurricane.
Yeah.
Mark 1, I think, innit?
Yeah, an early one, yeah.
Oh, you just reminded me as well about that. I'm just going to make a note on that because... Right, Paul, just we obviously know... I've spoken to James. Let me just write this down. So, what's happening on 5th of April, mate?
Well, we're coming up to club for visiting, it. Coming up for club. After club, we're going to who is it? What are they called? Model workshop. Yeah. Possibly back to Trevor's. I'm not sure what I'm doing, Mark, because I'm on the bike and I've got plans for Sunday, so I don't know what I'm doing. I'm definitely going. Obviously, definitely coming to the club. Definitely coming to the shop. And if I come back to Trevor's, it'll only be for a quick visit. You know what I mean? I won't be there for hours.
Okay. Dave Taylor, I said on the stream early doors, I've sent his sprue holder off today. And I said if he looks at his messages, he will see what I've done. But if he just waits until it arrives, which is maybe Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, Dave, I've put on the bottom cut here. So please make sure that you cut across the line that I've indicated, please, love, because if you turn it over and cut it across the top, you will spoil it. And he says, "Oh wow, I'll wait for the surprise. Thank you very much. You are welcome, Cocker. No drama, no drama." So while we were on the subject, I was going to show you this one.
Yeah, the tram. Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, that's an absolute belter. That is.
Yeah.
Plenty of ordnance on it as well.
That's the Quinter set, and I did say on the video that bang handle had actually ripped right there where my cursor is. Through,
yeah, I mean, most of the 3D decal sets I've had, they've been really weak. The bang handles, they're a weak part of decal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I actually expected a lot more. I'm hoping you can see the detail that I've put into that. I expected a lot more from Quinter. I've used Kit's World aftermarket in the past. I've not used Red Fox yet. I have got a Tornado set up there from somewhere for the Italieri. But that's the second time I've used Quinter. I used it in the Phantom that I won the competition with last year, and I actually thought it was going to be a lot more.
I think if you Paul and myself were talking about this a good while ago, and Red Fox are really I did it for my the 132nd F16A, and the kit was fantastic but really expensive.
Yes.
And then I got some. I've used Quinter as well, and it's like Paul said to me. He said you get more for your money, more bang for your buck with Quinter than you do with Red Fox.
Yeah,
you get more in the kit. Like if you wear.
Yeah, mate. Just flicking through these photos again. If you've not seen the video, it is on YouTube. It will be underneath this live stream. Where I literally waffle on, as James and Aid have said tonight, for an hour and 3 minutes. Literally just talking about the kit. And we have discussed about, and it's actually the topic of conversation tonight, who's your favourite YouTubers and why. And I've, in the video, underneath this video, I've put all the links to all the YouTubers that we're going to talk about tonight. But we've said, you know, I were explaining to lads that somebody called me at Telford 2 or 3 years since and said, "Oh, Mark Andrews model vlog." Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you. Keep watching. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. He says that I don't mean any disrespect, but I put you on when I'm in kitchen or whether I'm just modelling. But I'm not watching you. I'm just listening to you because the way that you talk about all your stuff, it's brilliant. How does that picture look there? Does that look pretty good?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's just outrageously good, mate.
Good evening, John. Good evening, good evening, good evening, sir.
So what was the reasoning? Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
that answers my question. That what I was just going to ask you. What was the reasoning behind one wing folded and one wing out? But that just answered my question. Don't the remove before flight tags make a difference?
Yeah, they do.
Yes, and again, I've actually been on phone today to Sean at SGS, and I says, "Oh, I've given you a shout out on the tram video." "Oh yeah, cheers, mate, thanks a lot." And I was explaining again about the significance between the 1 in 48s and the 1 in 32s. The 1 in 32 RBF tags would literally be hanging right down here where my cursor is, and they just look so out of scale.
Out of scale, yeah.
They do. So, did loads of work in there. That was lots of dry brushing and shading. You know, just trying to make it look. You're just trying to make it look appealing, aren't you? That's what you're doing.
Is that a Quinter seat set as well?
Yeah, Quinter seat set as well. Yeah, you can see engine working there.
Those engines are an absolute triumph, I'll tell you.
I'm going to see if I've actually got a picture of the engines on their own. I'm sure that I have. You know, let me just have a quick look here. Dum 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 dum. That's the cockpit.
Evening, John.
I'll blow that up for you. Yeah, that's the cockpit. I mean, that just looks.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
Look at that.
it looks nice.
Proper busy, isn't it?
That is proper busy. Yeah, proper busy. But not as nice as these bad boys. Look at this. Wrong picture, Mark. Wrong picture. Where's it gone? There we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'll stick that one up for you. Can you see that? Let's blow that up and start from front to back. The air intakes, superb fit onto the fuselage, and that front end of the engine just slots straight into that. And then obviously you've got, you know, the exhaust part that I'm hooking up and all that kind of stuff. My
son looked at this. Well, I showed it to him. I said, "You want to look at these?" And his actual words were, and excuse me for swearing, "How the fuck has he done that?"
Do you know what? Do you want me to tell you the truth? I mean, look at that. If you look at that, right? Well, let's start with how the fucking hell has he done that, and I will tell you exactly how I've done it. Couple of words. I make it up as I go along. It is that simple. And if it looks all right, then it looks all right. Obviously, I look at Google Images and I look at other YouTubers and see what they've done. Yeah. This is all natural. That's red because it says it's red on instructions. That's black. This is that. But there's only, you know, when it points the arrow and it's got like a circle with a numbering for your paint guy. But then obviously it's about, you know, well, what else can I do? So that white ring, I think, what I tried to do with the white ring there is try and make it look as ceramic as I could.
And it does.
And then that little bit of a heat shield between the engine and the exhaust, the material there, can I blow it up anymore? There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So that material there is actually hemming tape that you hem the bottom of your trousers with.
There's always a use for it, mate.
Just wrapped round, tight, keep it tight, and then I literally, not with MRP because it's too thin, with some Tamiya buff, the big brushing, stippled it onto some blue roll to get rid of it all, almost a dry brush, and then literally just dry brushed it with this sort of buff colour just to give it a heat shield type of thing.
Brilliant.
Okay, what's Dave saying there, James?
Hang on, mate. Oh, how much time did you spend on the tram, Mark? You truly have an eye for detail, mate.
If you watch the video, I know I'm plugging myself. If you watch the video, right, what you'll find, and this is what I talk to the lads about. So straight away on the video, I talk about me being a backwards builder. In that I do the ordnance first. So if you've got a stop clock and you'll go, right, go. The first thing I do is put all the bomb halves and missile halves together, put the fins on, etc., etc. But then it's while that's glue's all setting, because I know there's going to be a seam to sand off. I'm literally on to, right, what can I do next while that's drying? What sub-assembly can I do next? And when I'm cutting that off the sprue and that's drying, and then I've got a sanding stick out and I'm ready to go on that, but I've cut these bits off and I'm ready for gluing, and then 10 minutes, that's dry, that's sanding, that's glued, and it's literally a conveyor belt of backwards building. Backwards building. So that in the end, I had literally a tub full of sub-assemblies. The wings were built, painted, primed, deckled, weathered, absolutely everything. The rudder were put together. the bombs, the armament, the undercarriage, the doors, and I basically sub-assemble it. Once I've got all that as far as I can possibly go, then I'll paint the inside of the fuselage. Once that's dry, only then do I start in the office. Start with seats, and obviously because the tram's got such a massive office in it, and I've got to sand all that detail off the instrument panel to put the quinter on. Once I've done all that, it's literally just a matter of going, right, office in, sides on, wings on, and you can and they literally fly together. That's why I backwards build. To answer your question, Dave, it probably took me about 3 months. About 3 months, but it's a big old bird. It's absolutely enormous. It's massive.
Yeah, but I think
even to the point.
I've watched the video a couple of times now, and it's even though you say you're backwards building, it's logical.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes more sense than the actual instructions.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, things like this, right? So things like the radar, it's the full plate. It's a little bit of an attachment. It's the actual radar itself, and you can sort of that comes off. So you can paint all that itself, paint all that, do a bit of masking, detail it up, blah blah blah, and that's in your bits bin. Then it's done. Same for this. The long pipe across here and this pipe across there. You've got to glue them in, but then that's not a finished picture. I've got some water slide decals, some spares, loads of spares, as we all have. And I actually put a little bit of a hazard, a yellow and black hazard decal on top of that, and a black and white one on top of that. The scenes, look at that scene. They're grotesque, and I love it. And I do love stuff like that because, you know, when you're backwards building, yeah, and it is when you're backwards building. You know, I put some putty in there, and obviously on this side, and then you just leave it to dry. But while it's drying for a good 3 or 4 hours, you can crack on with sort of building backwards something else. Nose turned back right.
I mean, I've been a backwards builder for quite a while now after watching one of your previous builds, not this one, but a long time, about 6-7 months ago. And it has changed the way I look at modelling, but I think you're going to have quite a few people convert quite a few people with this method.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. It just makes sense to me. All that, look at all that. It was mad. It was madness.
Yeah.
You know, people saying, "Oh, bloody hell, that looks amazing." Do you know what? It does look amazing, but it takes no skill. It takes no skill at all. It's literally sand off what you've got and then just white glue them on. It's not rocket science. It's not hard.
Yeah, I think you're playing yourself down a bit there, Mark, saying that it's no skill. There is a lot of skill in what we all, especially to this level, there's a lot of skill in it.
Yeah, it's the finishing. You've just got the eye for finishing.
Thank you, chaps.
Oh, boy, you said you were going to make an announcement at 9:30.
It's not 9:30 yet.
Oh, sorry, I'm 9:30 Swedish. I'm on Swedish time here now. Sorry.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Paul, I've got an announcement to make about the club at 9:30. It's huge news.
Sorry, mate.
It's huge. So yeah, so that was it. That was it. How much time did I spend on it, mate? I spent about 2.5, 3 months on it, Cocker. Right, so TikTok viewers, if there's any TikTok viewers watching now or watching later, welcome. Club up 5th of April, I've got James and Paul coming up and across. Huge news at 9:30. Commission build, that's in the post going down to my friend on Instagram. Dave Taylor, your sprue holder, is in the post. The topic of tonight's conversation, bearing in mind that we're now 34 minutes in, is I asked the lads the other day, because I've not been tubing, I said to the lads, who's your favourite tubers? Who you been watching? Because I've obviously not been able to get on. And they've sent me a list. They've sent me the lists of the guys who they've been watching, only because they haven't been watching me. I'm only kidding. No, I've lost everybody, and we're back. So I said to the lads, obviously, you've not been able to watch me, but I hope you've been watching me back catalogues, though, boys.
Yeah, always. They're always there for reference.
Yeah, they're always there, mate. Yeah, always. Tick, bell, subscribe.
That's the one.
How do you think I got this far with this?
Of course. So, hang on a minute. What have I done with my piece of paper? I've written all your bloody things down, and because I've had a little tidy up in here today, I've lost it. Right. So,
go on to Sescu. Sescu Live. No, you haven't. You've got it on Messenger, haven't you? You've got it on Messenger, mate.
Yes, I have. I have. Right, let's get the phone on. So I asked the lads, we're going to start. Do you know what? James, we'll start with you.
Right.
Now, what I'm going to attempt to do is, there it is. Find James's that he sort of like watches a little bit. And I'm going to see if I can find. There we go. Right, I'm going to see if I can find on YouTube some clips to show you of the guys who we basically watch. Okay.
Yeah.
So your first one that you mentioned
was Greg. Was your mate Greg? Yeah, Greg.
So I'm going to go to. I can find Greg dead easy, mate, because I subscribe to Greg. I think he's a star, mate.
Yeah, he is. He's good.
Where's my subscriptions? Come on.
Rob's just put up there. Anybody and anything that takes his fancy. So
that's fair comment.
Yeah. I always tend to if I'm.
What's that for?
The YouTube.
He watches YouTube.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. So, let me just see if I can find.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Rob as well.
Bearing in mind.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, go on.
No, I agree with Rob as well, but I think for all of us, there are certain YouTubers that we watch regularly, if you know what I mean, like that we have the little bell that comes up and says they got a new video out or what have you. So
yeah, Rob just said there now that YouTube.
Yeah. I wanted to see if I could find which one was that one that we were talking about the other week?
Oh God.
Helicopter.
The Chinook.
Chinook, isn't it?
Yeah, the 35th.
I didn't want to try and find the Chinook.
Yeah, because he's done a cracking job on that. He really has.
Oh, that's the one that you recommended to me, James, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, and I did watch the Chinook.
I think he's
detail he goes into.
Yeah, it's just mad. Mad.
Especially the interior, doing the seats on the inside. On the inside was unreal.
I think we all want to do a Chinook, Rob.
Yeah, mate.
I know Craig loves them, doesn't he? Craig Stinson, he absolutely loves his Chinooks.
Like Greg
I'm just scrolling down.
Do you want to share the screen, Mark?
Not right now because I'm just scrolling down, mate. I'll take my big head off. I'll take my big head off. I'm just scrolling down YouTube through Greg's models to see if I can find the Chinook. Why can't I find it anywhere?
It's
Can't
far
find
down,
it.
mate.
So
Should be able to find playlists, Mark.
bear with me. I know, mate. It's I don't know if it's because I've got it on half a screen or what. I'm just going to see if I can find anything that's.
Like Greg got a brilliant habit of taking a. Let's just say it as it is. A pile of shit kit. You know, turn a pig's ear into a silk purse.
Yeah,
definitely.
With anything either, is he?
Yeah,
he does a lot of old Matchbox and Airfix stuff,
Yeah,
which is which
Yeah.
a lot of people wouldn't even dream of tackling, but he makes a real good job.
I haven't watched this one, I must admit.
No,
Fly, it's all
yeah.
Fly gear, not even a kit. What did he call it? Expanded resin or something?
right.
Vacuum form.
I do not know. I don't know if the volume's going to come on. Bear with me. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? I mean, he's got a lovely narrating voice as well. I've met him at Telford. He's a superb guy. But I'll just watch this anyway. Just watch.
That I picked up from him directly. I've never thought about drilling out the instrument panels before.
Yeah. All the links as well about all of the modelers that we've got, all the YouTubers that we've got tonight, they're all in the description. And if you want to share, like Dave has on the comments there, if you want to share and tell us who you watch, we don't watch everybody. We're not professional. We're just regular blokes that like to come across and have a chit chat and talk about what we've seen. So you might watch guys that we haven't even heard of. I know that the lads have told me about one or two, and I'm like, I've heard of them. But it does. I've been in and had a look at the lads days. I've even subscribed to a couple of them myself. I think it's nice that you can watch different builders, lads, into it and get their scope on things.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Sometimes it just gives you that little bit of a kick, doesn't it? You know.
Yeah, mate. So yeah, Grant. The next one off UJ was.
Fast forward it, Mark, to the end and see what the results are. I've not seen that one, to be honest.
All right, okay, let's have a look.
See what comes out, you know what I mean?
There you go.
Well, that's the other thing he does. He does a lot of scratch building stuff as well, doesn't he?
There it does. It does. And do you know what as well? He's a proper lovely guy. He's a proper lovely guy as well. He's Greg. He's loads of time for absolutely anybody.
Yeah.
If you want to go and check out the group, Greg, underneath this video is all the links, like I've said, to all the videos that all the guys that we're going to watch tonight. Your next one up, James, was
Night Shift.
Night Shift.
Yeah,
now,
Shift, yeah.
I'm not going to show him. I'll tell you for why. Because he's got 41,500 subscribers.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good
so,
he's prolific in armor building.
Don't we?
Yeah, he's an armor builder, you know, but
prolific.
Proper armor builder. Prolific, yeah,
He's
really good.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So the next one was one called Mojo
Rising. Yeah.
Rising Modeling.
Yeah.
Where's that? Yeah, mate. Tell me a bit about it, James. What's the crack like?
He's into near enough everything. He does planes, any scale. He's but he actually talks it through as well. Some of the videos he actually talk it through and tell you how he's
oh yeah,
a bit like yourself, but he shows it in pictures and all that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, while he's building.
Okay, shall we have a look?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Let's play that. Let's play. We've got the adverts, obviously. That's how we get paid. So let's have a listen and see what he says.
Okay.
All right, I've got the underside primed where the neutral grey will go. So I'm using the same exact same paint I used on the interior where it was neutral grey, except on the inside I had black primer. Now I'm using a grey primer. It'll be lighter. I've used Mr. Primer Surfacer 1000
overhead camera
priming.
Yeah.
And I've highlighted access panels with Tamiya white.
Not the easiest thing to do overhead camera.
Just to change the hue. Looking at it, I don't normally do that. I'm just trying, having a bit of fun, try some different things.
Let's have a look. Yep.
Lighten up a few.
Hey, all.
Want a hot tip for instant tooth sensitivity relief? Colgate Sensitive Instant Relief. Buy it yourself, apply it yourself, switch on instant relief yourself, wherever you are, whenever it's needed.
And she's telling you about good oral hygiene.
Sauce up your sandwich with Walker's Heinz ketchup flavour crisps.
And yeah, crisps.
Crisps,
That's what I did
yeah.
instead of using
Bloody
yellow
adverts.
this time.
Jimmy.
Use the faded olive drab I've got.
Is he Australian, this guy?
And mixed
Yeah,
it with
but he could be a New
paint
Zealander.
I use for the base colour.
Oh, yeah.
So some panels are.
I like his little polystyrene
lighter.
blocks there,
Again,
cool.
When I laid it down,
Yeah, they all come in handy,
you
mate.
really see it. But once
He's
I put a
definitely
gloss
from the
coat
southern
over it,
hemisphere,
it
this
blends it
guy.
back in with the base coat. So depending on how you look at it, it's
He's an Aussie, I think.
different.
Sounds
light
Aussie, doesn't it?
angles will highlight.
Definitely
so
Oz,
I've
not New
masked
Zealand.
to paint in my white strips on the rudders, stabilizers, and I've started masking. So when I do make my own stencils, masks, so I got to paint that where that circle is, white, and I find it easier. That's the diameter, so I've cut it out on there instead of trying to line up that piece of tape with the circle in it. It's easier just to put in this, and then you come in with your.
Take that off and lay it on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it off and lay it on top.
Yeah, mate.
The outer mask. And,
yeah, just like that. Do we get the drift?
Put it over it.
Yeah, definitely.
Recommended from you then there, James?
Adjust that a bit.
Yeah, very.
You get the gist.
Very recommended.
For me, I find it easier to
description.
go
Link in the description.
The actual area of paint.
For all of these. Comment there from Rob, Prime Model Works. Hiya, fellas!
Hiya, fellas! Yeah.
Hiya,
he's a good watch.
I'm just going to suck my coffee. Model Nerd, James, who's that?
He's a chap I watch. I'm not honestly sure. I think me and Adi were talking. Is that the one that's moving over to Sweden, Aid?
Yeah. No, it's the inner nerd that's moving.
Oh, the inner nerd
to Sweden.
Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was him. Yeah, he's really good as well, mate. Well worth a watch, mate. You know, he's built quite a bit as well. He's another one. Any scale?
I think he's quite young.
Shall we have a look?
From what I can tell. I've watched quite a few of his videos. I got him.
Hello there, guys. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before.
He makes quite a lot of mistakes.
I've been so busy at work that it seems like a while since I've uploaded a video.
And this is the guy that removed the Sweden.
KFZ
I subscribe to this guy. He's got a cracking narrating voice. Let's have a listen.
Of the same vehicle. This comes in at around £20 in the UK, which for the Kettenkrad, the trailer, and the 3 figures, I think is a pretty good price point. You might notice in this process there's quite a few ejector pin marks there on the inside, which I haven't filled.
I'm pretty certain this is the guy that moved to Sweden.
By subsequent parts.
Remember, I was the one who put it. Well, I mentioned it.
Itself is a very simple construction.
I couldn't remember whether it was the inner nerd or model nerd, but judging by his voice now, I think it is this guy. But I don't know.
No, well, I've obviously messaged the wrong guy then, because I messaged the inner nerd, not that he got back.
Well, I did say to you, Aid, I wasn't too sure whether it was inner nerd or model nerd.
Up by the wheel pieces.
Yeah, I do like watching this kid. Actually, I do.
Olive green.
Yeah.
And then again, to emphasise the fact that the trailer.
I believe he's got a big scale. Let's set up things as well. He doesn't like terrain around.
Slightly different scheme with some lines, some strip of green and red brown.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty certain this is
the last video I watched. He did the latest video he put up. He done the Lotus versions of the Lotus 76 Formula 1 cars.
For the guys who are watching, obviously we're skipping through these videos because we've got quite a few to cover. But already said, and I'm going to keep saying it.
No, you don't often catch me doing any form of chipping on my ALA models.
All for these. So all we're doing tonight is we're just giving you a little taster to say, chuffing, I'll leave it on a bit, Mark. No, I can't because I haven't got time. But all the links are going to be in. So that one, Model Nerd. Your next one, James, was Steve Jones scale modelling. Who's that?
Steve Jones. He's a chap from down this area. So he's a bit like Flory. Flory's Flory's up in Newton Abbot. So, and Steve, I believe, is down in Cornwall, but I think he originated in Plymouth. But he does walk arounds. He's mainly armor, but he does walk arounds. I actually met him at one of our Plymouth shows.
When it came time to take things to the next level, I knew that I had to make a website, and Wix was perfect.
A show every year. and it was in the Guildhall. He's actually filmed it.
Yeah.
I met him at that particular show,
All right,
but
cool.
yeah, I've been following him ever since. And yeah, he does little walkarounds of tanks that, you know, it's tanks and half tracks. The M3 is the one that caught my eye, because he's done it over like it's the 35th build. I believe it's the Dragon kit, and he's done it over sort of like 8 or 9 volumes. But he's right into it as well, and he'll tell you how he's addressed this and how he's addressed that. But yeah, really, really good, mate. Really good.
Let's have a look. Let's have a watch. Is this? Oh, this is where he's walking around a real tank, obviously.
Yeah, this is a walk around.
Walk around.
Right, it's probably not the video I wanted then, is it? Let's have a look, see what else he's got.
I think he's got a little Hetzer-based thing, little 38T.
Yeah. Have a play here. Let's see what we've got here.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the second and final part in this series of videos on the building
That's the first World War.
Master Boxes.
Yeah,
armored car on it.
As you can see from this short video, the build is now complete. And what we're going to do in this video is look at the use of oils through the way of oil paint rendering to produce this finish, along with some pigment as well. So if that's something of interest to you, then here we go with the oils. Using a cardboard palette gives you a chance
as a modeler maybe, but not certainly not the
oil
subject.
to drain out, which makes the oils dry up and Windsor and Newton. Also, we have some thinners, and we have a variety of brushes, and also some blending brushes as well, and also a stir to enable us to do some splashes, and the all-important towels to take off any excess. So first of all, using the thinner, we just basically clean up the part that we're going to be putting the first type layer of oils onto.
Okay.
And this just makes it a little bit easier for the oils to adhere to the surface. Don't need to overdo this, just enough to give it a moist finish, and that will soon dry anyway. First of all, we're going to put down a dust layer. So using Abteilung's dust oil, along with a combination of other buffs and yellows from Windsor and Newton. We're going to mix all of these up. Pallets in the fridge, which gives them a longer shelf life. But obviously, when you come to use it, you just need to break the top crusty layer to get the softer oils underneath. And then, as you can see, I'm just using a blending brush and some thinner to blend all the different light dust colors together. And then using the brush, what I want to do is just apply a wash type of consistency of oil. And this will then be blended. And then once dried, that will be your first layer in this layering process, like we like to call oil paint rendering. Now, oil paint rendering is championed by the mighty Mike Rinaldi, Rinaldi Press Studios. I've put all his links in the descriptions below, so go and check out his work.
Videos.
My humble opinion, he's one of the best model builders out there at the moment.
Just watch these seamless
So
transitions.
once the wash has been applied, it's then a matter of blending it in. This is a dry brush. Quite a bit of it will come off, but it will leave you with a nice dull effect on the white tires. And then what we need to do is to get the hair dryer. And once that has been dried, we can then start doing some splashes, splatterings. And it's just a simple matter of using the Tamiya stirrer, using consistency of oils, and then using the brush to put it onto the model part. And as you can see, that's come out really well. And again, that will then be hair dried and dried in. Now, if there are some dots that you're not happy with, you can again use a dry brush and you can just gently go over and blend those in.
Always
And
nice.
that's the great thing of using oil paints. You have a lot of control that you wouldn't have if you were doing this with acrylics.
It just talks you through it.
If the world of electric has sparked your interest, plug into AutoTrader, the UK's #1 destination for new and used electric vehicles. Whether you're looking.
So, and that were your lot. I think you got one more. Did you? Did you add one more at the end?
Martini models right down the end, I think it was. And I've come across him pure and simple because he's bought or he's made the P61, the Black Widow, and
all right.
Yeah, I bought the kit, so I got the kit off Paul. We did a little swapsy, and because I've been after the kit for bloody ages, but it's sort of it's eluded me. But Paul sort of like, oh, I've got one.
Ooh.
Do you want to do a swapsy? So yeah, we did.
I'll tell
you. Yeah, it's
you might be getting another subscriber off me tonight because I'm just. Let me share my screen. Let me just share my screen. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to start up at top and I'm going to scroll down. So Martini Models. This is the chap there, and you can see four builds, 23 minutes. Look at that.
Yeah, Tomcat.
That's playing on the
25
screen.
as well.
Yeah, he's got the Tomcat. He's got the Blackbird. In fact, I'm just going to click on that. Let's have a look at this.
That was one of my reference videos that I watched when I did my Tomcat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
Okay.
Really good.
Let's have a watch then.
Bem simples, com poucas peças e com o interior bem espartano. Todo em baixo relevo, com bons encaixes. O grande problema desse kit é que a Academy aproveitou o SR71 para fazer essa versão, mas teria de ter feito algumas alterações, principalmente na cabine. Inclusive, o nome impresso na caixa é errado.
Nice transition on his
Nada
videos.
Um grande problema, mas que não fiz.
That's professional editing. That. See,
yeah. Vamos acompanhar a montagem desse belo jato da guerra.
Yeah, he's really good, Mark. Really is good.
Very nice. Have a watch. 2 minutes. Have a watch.
With the Google platform, we're seeing for every £1 that we invest, we're getting 5 back in revenue.
Thank you. while I fast forward, one of the things that you've got to remember about creating content. So, obviously, talking from personal experience, let me just put us back on for a second. One of the things that people probably don't, well, they definitely don't see. I don't know if they appreciate it or not. If I do a video, and I've told these lads before, if I shoot a video, so if I do it on my phone, I'm only allowed about 35 minutes worth, and then my phone says, nope, full, we're gonna have to do it in part 2. So the way that I got round that, for example, with the tram video, 1 hour and 3 minutes, was to use StreamYard. Because even on the free StreamYard site, I think you do get up to maybe 4 hours worth of recording per month for free. Now, the process is, and I'm talking here about like with the transitions on the videos, the different cameras that these guys use. Once I've used my PC that I'm looking at now, I've got StreamYard on my PC, and I will upload. I will record a video on StreamYard. Once I've done that, I've got StreamYard on my phone. So once I upload it to StreamYard, it's like the StreamYard cloud. Even though I've done it on my PC, it's now on my phone. Then, so I've recorded it for 1 hour, and that's if I'm successful on take 1. And James and Aid asked me earlier, do you write anything down, Mark? And I said, no, you can always tell when I'm live because my hands are constantly going. I normally close my eyes when I'm having to think about stuff and sequencing and one thing and another. Once I've uploaded that StreamYard video to my phone, I then transition to an editing suite on my phone, and that's where I add all my overlays, my pictures, my photographs that I've got stored on my phone. So now, in effect, I've got 3 or 4 different apps all running in the background just on my phone. So I can go, right, I need to add a picture of the instruction guide here on the engines. And then I have to sort of come out of that, go into my phone, go into my albums, find out the pictures that I need, overlay that onto the video. All the little arrows that are usually dancing around, I've got to do exactly the same with them. For me to that video that I shot for the tram, it was actually take 3 because on the first 2 I bollocksed it up. On the third take, it took me 1 hour and 3 minutes. And I did say at the start of the video, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in 1 or 2. And I managed to do it in 1. 1 hour and 3 minute video took me 3 days to edit. Because you're constantly having to overlay things, make sure that the sound isn't too loud. Add your whooshing noises and your dum-dum-dums and all this kind of thing. The applause at the end of the video, I've got to seek that out from different apps, and I've literally, it's like layering a cake with the base level being your video, and then on top of that, I've got to put the images that I want. On top of that, I've got to put the photographs. On top of that, I've got to put some music. On top of that, I've got to put the arrows, the dancing arrow, and it's literally building the layers up to the video that you guys see, and it took me three days to do that. So for these guys who are doing it all on the PCs with different camera angles, and sometimes what they'll do is they'll shoot the video and then they'll add the narration after.
Yeah.
Whereas with mine's almost like a cheat. I feel sometimes when I'm doing a video, I feel like a fraud because I'm talking as I'm going along. But you'll probably notice, different, like, hiya fellas. So that's his trademark thing. Whereas with mine, I think mine's more like, I'm sure I took a photo of that. And if I did, I'll put it up here. And and I do that a lot on my videos. That's why I sit to one side so that I've got plenty of space here to put the pictures on. But again, but when I'm editing a video on the tram video, I said, I've taken 13 pictures of engines. I've taken 6 pictures of this, 5 pictures of that. And before I actually even start to shoot a video, I've got to sit for an hour or two, just flicking through with a piece of paper and a pen, going, right, that's a picture of so-and-so, da-da-da. Next picture, that's a picture of so-and-so, write that down. And I've got, so on the tram video, I've got 151 photos, and I've got 4 sheets of A4 paper here on my desk, literally describing every single picture that I was going to overlay onto the video, so that when I'm narrating it and I'm saying, I'm sure I've got a picture of that, I've got one eye down here going, yeah, I have, and I can sandwich it all on. So I've got a lot of admiration for these guys that do it like this, loads and loads. Let's keep watching. When you guys are watching the video, you're going, oh, yeah, it's pre-shading. I do that. I've seen people do that. And whether I think it's tight, whether I think it's sloppy, I do not. When I watch a video, I don't look at that. What I'm looking at is, how many cameras is this guy using?
Yeah.
How is he putting his overlays on like that one with aluminium? How is he editing this? What software is he using? How does he blend these transitions so effortlessly between this camera angle that's on now and that camera angle? That was a snap cut, so it's from one to another. You'll see on some that they'll actually blend them in, and that's what I'm looking at. Like that, you see that would have blended, and that's what I'm looking at when I watch the video. Let's fast forward a little bit. See that blend from picture to black, back to picture.
Yeah.
It don't just happen. It's a skill.
Vendo fotos da aeronave, percebi que algumas partes estavam diferentes.
Lovely colours.
Yeah, they are nice.
Yeah, it's a nice scheme.
Yeah. Unusual.
Lovely.
Because I thought they were black.
Lovely. That's not the SR-71, James.
E assim ficou a corrigida. Achei bem mais interessante e atraente, com mais áreas pretas. Ainda farei alguns.
So the first one the first ones that they made, you've just seen that little drone, and that drone sits on top there.
E o drone ficou assim, bem mais interessante também.
Right.
And the drone actually sits on top of it, mate.
Yeah, when I first saw the metallics there, the SR-71, but yeah, you're right.
No. So,
you know, it's always good to watch. It's always good to watch these videos, because then, as an armor builder, I'm not that well equipped to do aircraft. So, and I want to be sort of like an all-rounder. So to watch this, you can transition this sort of stuff to armor as well as to the boats as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So that's him. So that one, who was that one? What was that?
That was Martini.
Was that Steve Jones model inside?
No, that was Martini.
That was Martini. Thank you very much.
That was my last one.
Guys that are watching, keep your comments coming. If we're keeping these videos on long enough for you, if you're going to look in the description to find the links and let us know. You know, it's that's James's recommendations. That's some of the guys that he watches when he's not busy at work or in the caravan. Paul, over to you again. You've chosen. Now,
I've chosen quite a few, to be honest with you.
You have. I like it at the end when you said, fuck it, just pretty much all of my subscriptions. That were quite funny, mate. Workbench hobbies. Who's that, Paul?
I think he's an Australian guy. Again, you know, we talk about like the narration of where he narrates and explains things. I think it's just really cool the way he goes about it. You know what I mean? And plus that, he's a really cracking builder as well. But I mean, can I just say, with the majority of my subscriptions, it's because I've got the subject in my stash. So you go looking for the subject, you find a guy who's done a really good build of it.
Shall we have a look at what he's all about, dude?
Yeah, go on. Give him a look.
Let's have a look. We've got Jim. We've got Jim. At the minute. Right, let's turn the volume up.
They can build into great-looking models, but with the build behind me, it was now time to create the unique field-applied camouflage scheme using some different techniques you may not have seen before. So strap in as I take you through the complete painting and weathering process of this dragon.
Beautiful transitions there on his videos.
After removing the tracks and the turret in preparation for paint, I like to give the model an all-over dust off with an anti-static brush. This should remove any fine particles or dust that settled during the build, and once content, the model is primed in a Titan product straight from the rattle can. This is done outside due to the overspray and the excessive fumes. And what the primer will do is it ensures the elements such as the putty, the etch, resin and the plastic are all unified and will hold that next layer of paint properly.
He puts these like little tablet things up like
I picked myself up a set of this newly released, re-released set of AK Real Color acrylic lacquers. The range has seen a change to the bottle and they've now moved to a dropper style to distribute the paint. And from what I can tell, the mixture of the paint seems to be an airbrush ready formula. So I thought I'd give it a go on this model. I love the idea of the dropper style to transfer the paint and trialed it straight from the bottle, but I found thinning it to around 30% retarder thinner to 70% paint made the paint flow better through the airbrush. I often share the ratios I'm using, but take that for what it's worth because every paint is different. So whilst this paint sprays well with that ratio of thinner to paint, others may require more or less thinner depending on how viscous that paint is straight out of the bottle. Let me know if you'd like a video dedicated to thinning ratios down in the comments below, and I'll see what I can do for you.
Every YouTuber's comment that.
But back to the color, and it performed beautifully over that dark gray primer base and has excellent opacity as well as a lovely tone to that color. So as far as the paint goes, I'm very happy, but that new dropper style of bottle means the cap has to be manually removed to salvage any excess paint from the airbrush cup.
True.
And speaking of new, I'd also picked up a couple of the AK paint markers to trial. I was restricted with the available colors, but used the closest gray to represent rubber that I could. The pen style of application made short work of painting in that rubber color on these road wheels, and I'd recommend it pretty highly for this application. Moving to the camouflage scheme, and as I shared in the build video, I found this unique field-applied scheme and wanted to try and replicate it. I'd seen it interpreted in many ways, but looking at the reference image, it appeared to be well-defined and sharp for something that was supposed to be created using mud from the local area. You may recall a painting of the weasel I did a few videos back where I used a liquid mask to define my shapes. That was actually the test for tackling this scheme, and based on the success of that application, I started to apply the shapes that would remain olive drab using the liquid mask to build up those shapes.
Like it.
The product goes on white, looking like some sort of cool winter camouflage scheme. However, you know it's dry once it turns clear. A combination of earth yellow and desert sand from that real color range is used to establish that earthy yellow tone for the camouflage scheme. When painting a scheme like this, there is always some degree of artistic license and interpretation, given this was a field applied scheme. For me, it's about trying to create something that's visually appealing as a model, but matches the look in the reference as closely as I can. To help with that look, I'm applying the paint in an imperfect, mottled way to represent irregularities in that application. Variation can also be created by adjusting the paint coverage in places, creating a greater opacity in the finish. That tonal variation is further expanded by upping the amount of that desert sand in the paint.
I use that for
blowing in
the masking light.
the shapes, and then adding a little bit of white to that mix to expand that color gamut even.
But yeah, certainly building it up in tones and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
I'm also able to create some vertical streaking with this mix by moving the airbrush in a downward motion and releasing the trigger as I move it. It's a great way to simulate rain streaks and just general wear and tear. Removing paint masks is always a do or die moment, and there is always a degree of excitement as they come off. The latex masks are carefully removed using a tip of an old airbrush needle.
I like that latex
Any
mask.
ragged edges can be tightened up by gently rubbing a piece of glue tack over that shape. I was really happy with the foundations of this scheme, and this technique had done its job to perfection.
Lovely that.
Yeah.
My family rescued the dog with chronic fracture.
Lovely. Right, your next one.
That was the moment Buttermilk Box was born.
Your next one, Paul, is your next one is
Cold
Golden Monster.
Oh, Golden Monster. Yeah.
Cold Demon Poland.
Cold Mons SPL.
Let's get it up because I need to have a look at this.
Click thumb up. Click thumb up.
Now then I'm going to share my screen. Yeah, let's have a look here. So, Heavy Soviet Beast.
Again, similar guy, similar. Again, I think he's armor.
Oh. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's all armor, I think.
You're obviously aware.
We're going to teach us here how to paint. Okay.
If you like my work, please remember to
click that thumbs up and subscribe. Yes. Lucas.
Today in How to Paint, I would like to show you how I prepare a white vehicle. And of course, it won't be white worn war camo, but uniform white of UN vehicles. I will use this photo as inspiration because I like it the most, but also this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one are also great. I used the Tamiya kit to build this model. I also added some PE parts from the Edwards set and ropes from Eureka XXL. In addition, I enriched the model with quite a lot of scratch build parts. I also made the characteristic anti-slip surface, which is really clear in this tank. I painted the basic colors on model without paying much attention to accuracy. The shades and arrangement of spots are painted purely for fun, so let's agree that this fragment doesn't need to be commented on and you don't need to ask about it. Okay? I also prepared the chassis in advance to close it with the side covers. This stage is shown in my video on Patreon. I glued a large screw into the center of the hull. You know this method from my other models. I did the same in the tank turret. I masked all the previous work with aluminum foil and stuck it with masking tape. All this so as not to paint over the mud that is already on the model.
That's all right. Okay, clean. Yeah, tin foil. Never done that before, have you?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Never
I've
happened.
used
No.
tinfoil quite a lot.
Upgrade to Colgate Total. It's 15 times more effective at fighting a key root cause of many preventable issues.
Come on. I won't get that.
I'm starting painting, and keep in your mind one most important word of today's film: contrast.
Subscriber.
I think there is no need to explain it because everything you will see in this video will be clear and easy to understand. A mixture of white, grey and a few drops of light sand is perfect for the first layer. This shade is crucial because all subsequent work on lighter and darker shades will come from it. You could say that this one is something like a color base. To cover dark camo colors, it's necessary to paint at least 2 layers, maybe even 3, it all depends on how carefully you apply the color. I prefer thin layers that dry quickly. It's quite time consuming but gives the best effects. Now some shading, or as you probably guessed, applying grey. Remember that adding dark grey drastically changes the shade, so you only need a small amount to see the difference. I focused on anti-slip surfaces, nets above the engine, and nooks and crannies where there would be less light in reality.
Okay. I can see why you like this guy, Paul.
Yeah, I'd say he's a good builder. Like he's
Pure
really
white
good.
is enough for highlights. All large and flat surfaces, protruding elements and details must be painted in this color. The greater the contrast you can build using these 3 shades, the better the model will look after weathering.
Yeah, cool. I'm not an armour builder, as you know, but I do like watching them. Okay, right, cool. So, link in the description for that one, guys. That one was Colden Monspiel. Okay.
After you finish working with the airbrush, you need to grab a regular brush and start painting the smallest elements that have not yet been properly brightened. White acrylic paint is best for this. It's worth painting all screws.
So I've killed the sound on the feed, Mark, while you're finding the next one, mate.
Efficiently.
Right, so I'm going to pause it there because I did say at the start of the show that I got to make a mass announcement about the club. Okay, so I'm going to open up. I'm just going to open up another link. Right. Now, Sesco and Hemsworth Community Scale Model Club. Okay, the club that I am a part of. Right. I just need
Let's
to
have
swap
it right.
over
The
to
club that you run.
Sesco Models Live. So one of the things that we do is
yeah, you're breaking.
Are we all on?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
you're breaking up a bit though.
Right, so the club that I run, right, we do shows, as you know. We did Bolton and we did Leeds, right? Am I still with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bit. I don't know.
Am I still with you?
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit though.
Right, okay. Am I back with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, yeah.
Right, I'm going to share my screen. Right, so Sesco Models Live, which is the sister station to Sesco and Hemsworth Community Scale Model Club. And that's where the guys who watch these things that we do can find this particular page on Facebook and put their models on so that we can share them on Sesco Models Live. Right? Am I echoing?
No, you're all right.
Am I okay? So one of the things that we do is we do shows, and Andy Norfolk said to the club maybe two meetings ago we could do with some feather flags, right? Now I don't know if you know. Do you know what a feather flag is?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So
They're called, I think they're called beach flags, aren't they?
Beach flags, feather flags, and I said I'll leave you with it. So I've sent him the design what I want. And he said, "Yeah, I'll run that past the beach flag shop, and I'll order them, Mark." So then at the next meeting, he says, "I've ordered them, mate. I've ordered 4 6-footers," and I says, "That's absolutely fantastic, that, mate." And he says, "Don't worry about the cost. Me and Jean are we're gonna buy these." And I said, "No, we'll reimburse you." No. Okay. So he's phoned me up today, and he said they've come. I says, "Right, that's brilliant." So I'm just going to share my screen there, right? And obviously the mock-up that I've done there, that's obviously a 6-foot guy, isn't it? That's your 6-foot guy, and that from the base of the flag to the top of the flag, that's what we've ordered, the 6-footers.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like. It's got the crest, the Phoenix, Sesco and Emsworth Community Scale Model Club, Facebook, Google, and YouTube. The massive news that I've got is literally massive, because when he's phoned me up, he's pissing himself laughing. I said, "What's up with you, mate?" He said, mate. I said, "What's up?" He went, mate. "Oh, mate." I says, "Come on, tell me." He says, "They've sent them." I says, "Right." He says, "Well, I put decimal place in wrong place." I says, "What have you got?" He says, "The 16.5 foot tall."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So the mock-up that I've got there that I'm showing you on my screen now, right? That's how tall it should be there, the 6 foot at the side of the guy, and that at the side of it with the giraffe behind it. I actually Googled how tall is a giraffe, and a giraffe is 15 feet tall. So when I say I've got massive news about the club, it's huge, right? It literally is huge, because they've sent
Get
us,
on, Andy.
Mate, they've sent us 4 16.5 foot tall feather flags.
Mate, you ain't going to be able to use them, are you?
Yeah, of course we are. Who's to say no?
Well, it depends where you are.
There's model shows on the beach.
Depends on the ceiling height, doesn't it? In the fucking halls.
That's not normally fucking 8 feet if he's upstairs.
I also have to add here that that's a 16.5 foot feather flag, and that does not include the base.
The stand.
Ow.
Can I just ask as well, why have you waited specifically till 9:30?
Yeah, of course you can. Ask away.
Well, why have you waited specifically till 9:30?
Because I get statistics on my videos through a channel called YouTube Community, and it shows a plot of the graph of how many people watch to how long they watch for, the retention, the duration, and it breaks it down. And my peak time for us is 9:30.
Right.
It's an hour and a half into the video. I hope that answers your question.
Put it this way: you are going to be seen at model shows.
Yes. So let's just go round the room.
The flag will be in the way.
What's your thoughts then, James? What's your thoughts on 4 16.5 foot feather flags?
You're making a statement, mate.
Oh,
they're bloody huge, aren't they? Where's the club gone? Can't see them. The flags are in the way.
And AD, what's your thoughts, mate? Is it go big or go home? I actually thought that Paul had said, "You know what, Mark? Go big or go home, mate."
Yeah, go big or go home. That's right.
the charity that I work for, that I volunteer for, Music Against Cancer, that we've got 6-foot beach flags, and as long as you're inside, you're all right. But as long as if you're outside, it's an absolute nightmare because the wind just takes them away. God knows what it's going to be like with a 16.5 footer.
Mate,
that's like a sail.
It is like a sail. And I said to him, I said, just order 2 6-footers because when we do a show, so when we do Bolton show, and this year we are doing more shows, but when we do a Bolton show, we normally get 3 tables. So a 6-foot flag at the end of either one is a definite statement. 4 16.5-foot flags is not a statement, is it? It's a punch in the face.
It is.
That's one of them things that when they walk through the door, the only thing they're going to see is your flags.
Yes, mate. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's why I waited. That's why I waited until 9:30, and that's what I've put on. So yeah,
Dave just put a good comment up.
What's he say? I can't see shit.
It says a satellite will fly outside the club.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, but that'll be you can see things from space. The Great Wall of China and Mark's 4 flags.
Yeah. I mean, I'll keep on subject for a couple more minutes. Dave, you're right, mate. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't think you can even when I said that they're as tall as a giraffe. What last time you saw a giraffe physically in the flesh, right? So then you start and say, well, go on, then I've never seen one in flesh. I've only seen them in pictures. So give me a scale on what 16.5 foot is. How tall is your ceiling in your house?
10, not even 10 foot.
No,
maybe 10 foot if you're lucky.
You're talking double-decker bus height.
Yeah, mate.
A door frame is 6'2".
Yeah.
Well, 6'7" or something like that. 6'8".
Yeah, about 6'6", Paul.
Yeah, I think it's close to 8 feet, isn't it? It's got to be.
Yeah, something like 7.5, 8 foot.
7.5, 8 foot.
Double-decker bus size.
Paul, can you just Google for us how tall is a double-decker bus? Because I know that you're my go-to man when it comes to me asking questions, and you're like, I'm on it. How tall is a double-decker bus, my friend?
There'll be a new in the future there'll be a new reference of heights online.
If them flags are 16 foot tall,
16
it's actually 2 foot taller. It's actually 2 foot taller than a bloody double decker bus. 14.4 to 15 foot tall for a double decker bus.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that you're going to have a problem at the end of your tables.
4 meters long.
People will be Googling this in the future. They'll be, for height references, they were saying, how tall are Sesco Model Club beach flags?
I'm Paul going to tape measure that. I'd piss me saying if he said it's only a 12-foot tape.
There's 14 foot. How long is it going to... No.
16.5 feet, mate.
16.5 feet? Bloody hell, yeah. How long is it going to take me to put this tape measure away? 1 foot. 2 foot. 3 foot. 4 foot. 5 foot. 6 foot. 7 foot. 8 foot. 9 foot, 10 foot, 11.
And we'll
12,
come back to Pop at the end of the show.
14, 15, 16.
Big?
No, it's no. No, of course not. No, it's fine. It's freaking massive. Don't forget, you can imagine the scale of them. Like a 6 foot one, it'd be like, oh yeah, nice. It's going to be about that wide.
Well,
16-foot one's going to be like that.
I said to him,
You're like a bloody on a catamaran.
I said, Andy, how wide is it? And he said, it's 900 millimeters.
Fuck it. It's 3 feet.
I'll tell you something though, the big problem you're gonna have is if you want to take a picture of your stand at model shows, you're gonna have to fucking walk outside to get the angle in, to get the flags in.
Hey, you'd be able to hire them out, the windsurfers.
That's right. Windsurfer, you'd be able to hire them
Is
out
that big nose
round the world
club?
sailing boats.
So you better not be any venues close to a beach, man. You mean?
Drop the guys who are watching 16.5 foot. Drop your comment.
Wow.
Dave, you've put one in there. Laugh out loud. A satellite will spot them outside the club. Do you know what Andy said to me on club days, Mark? Shall we have 2 of them outside the club? You know, sort of like announcing that we're inside. And I said, yes, mate, definitely. If you want to block out the sun to the other side of the
It's
street.
not only that.
Anyway, back on with tonight's show.
You'll have to put red lights on the top of them for if you've got any aircraft going over.
Oh, mate. I know. Right, come on, let's get watching.
If you go on to this guy, Mark, get us a Apache build up. Mark, if you're going to do this guy, get onto his Apache build.
This guy is Corn Sheepers.
Yeah, South African guy he
It's one of
is.
yours, that, Paul. Corn Sheepers. Who's that?
Yeah, South African dude. Again, a similar vein to like Soldier One and. Like I said, put us Jack is a Apache video on, Mark.
Apache. Apache video. This
one. No, go. Yeah.
Avionics Bay, mate.
No, there's a couple more that he's done one where he's actually complete and he's put it on a diorama.
All right. Oh, fuck's sake, right. Do you want me to come out of that then and have a look?
Yeah, if you can find the one where he's put it on a diorama.
Scratch building.
Well, keep going.
No, he's not. Down. He's into armour here.
Yeah, it's not all in order, Mark. I think that's the guy who got the idea for the lenses off, Mark.
All right, okay. Well, let's go back up to that one. Go on.
Go on, that'll do, yeah. Yeah, go on, that'll do.
Yeah. Right, let's play. Let's see. Come on. Let's watch.
Welcome to episode 74, everyone. In this one, I'll be detailing the avionics bays on TACOM's AH-64D Apache. In the last video, you'll recall that we added some sensor lenses scratch built from an old DVD disc. And in this video, the scratch building continues. It's time to detail the avionics bays on the TACOM Apache, some wiring that needs to be added there. And as a bonus, I'll also be showing you some detailing I did on the tail rotor section. But first, a word from the sponsor. Guys, if you've been following this build, you know that it's been generously sponsored by Supernova Studio here in South Africa, my favorite hobby shop. And for December, there's a special discount on this kit. So if you're in South Africa, do make use of this opportunity to add this kit to your stash. Now, back to the build. You'll notice that the side sponsons include these open avionics bays, and I'll be scratch building some detail in there. Now, guys, if you're not completely comfortable with that, fear not. Quintus Studio recently launched the avionics bay upgrade kit for the Tacom Apache, and this is certainly something to consider if perhaps you don't want to go to all the trouble that I'll be showing you in this video. The left and right side avionics bays are molded into the side sponsons, and they are molded as a single part, very large parts indeed. And guys, always work over a plastic tray so you don't lose parts. So there we go. Very nice detail indeed, and quite accurate as well, as I discovered while I was working on this and comparing it to my reference pictures. It comes with the side covers. They fit in place very nicely, also with the hinges, so plenty of opportunity to add some detailing. There is some photo etch detail, and you can look at episode 66 where I covered the basics of working with this. Some very nice detail to add, and that is some of the prep work I did before I got to the avionics bays. Now the covers unfortunately have these large ejector pin marks, and I've never had much success trying to fill these with putty. So instead I'm going to use sheet styrene. First I take some 40mm Tamiya masking tape, and the purpose of this is just to create a mask that I can use later to cut an accurate cover from sheet styrene. So press that down, use your fingernail just to get the exact outline of that, and then use your hobby knife just to cut that little piece of masking tape away. You can see I'm marking the latches. They will have to be cut out as well from the sheet styrene. And when I'm done with this, I can now transfer this little piece of masking tape to a very thin piece of sheet styrene from Evergreen. So this saves a lot of time in measuring, cutting, measuring again. I can now just work according to that piece of masking tape. I used a cutting bit on my Dremel tool just to cut the holes for the latches. That's what I'm doing there. And when I'm done, this is the cover.
Yeah, he's narrating over the top of his video that is shot.
Did you know that there was a relatively unknown way to profit from artificial intelligence?
Okay, I'm going to put I think I'm going to put a sub on that one, you know. Yeah, drop that in, subscribe. Okay, I'll go on to see some more of him.
Can I just say, yes. Mark, the reason that I got onto that, is because I really feel like you should be building an Apache, and I got onto that, and I sort of thought, Mark, you need to buy an Apache, lad. You need Tacom's Apache in your hangar.
Yeah.
At what scale is that?
35th.
35th.
Yeah, I only build one in 35th choppers. One in 48 is not big enough.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Sully's scale model.
Loads of times.
Yeah. Is that Tacom kit the one with the dodgy decals?
Yes.
Not too sure.
No, that's the Academy one, isn't it?
Oh,
no,
I don't know.
It's only Meng or Tacom.
Meng.
Not sure.
That problem as well. Long being solved now anyway, so it's not a problem.
Sully's scale models, I don't mind. Go on, let's have a look for Sul, because do you know what? I don't mind a bit of Sully.
Yeah, he's built a new Lysander, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I watched that the other day. It's nice watch, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the Lysander as well. It's a nice.
Simon is. I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice guy.
Again, I like his demeanor. You know, the way he does his production and stuff. And
let's share that screen and see if we can get one to play. Here it comes.
Hey friends, and welcome to the channel. So in this video, we are going to be looking at adding some lovely figures.
Better than the ones that come in the kit.
Adding some cannon.
Oh, unusual.
And adding a nice little stand. So grab yourself a brew and a bicky, and let's jump straight into it.
Nice
That's his thing, isn't it? A brew and a bicky.
So with this build, obviously, as always, we start off with the cockpit. Now, this one's very reminiscent of the Anson build with its sort of tubular frame.
You'd stop biting your nails.
Now, the way I've done this, I've kind of built most of it up, because normally what I would usually do, particularly for painting, was paint all these parts separately and then bring them all together later on. But I found with certain parts, actually, it was easy to build most of this up. And actually, this wasn't too difficult to spray up and not miss any areas, because it's not an overly big, cockpit area.
In 2023, we were able to generate a 439% ROAS from our Google Ads. Third of Blender.
The assembly for the cockpit tub, if you like, is pretty much straightforward, and there's not very many parts that you really need to add. A lot of it is already molded into the framework. It's only a few small bits that we have to add. Now, like I said, I have built most of this up earlier on than what I would normally, because it says the way I'd usually paint it. I'll get to that in a short while and why I've actually done it this way, but it really, honestly, actually doesn't matter. But, I have a weird way of wanting to paint stuff up. Now, as we come to the pilots, you have two options. As you can see, the one on the left, which is the one for the pilot in the seat, and the one on the right-hand side has got the straps if you wish to have the cockpit obviously empty and void of a pilot. This is where I start assembling most of the cockpit up. Obviously, the pilot's seat will be going in the rudders, because a lot of these is quite a few sort of smallish assemblies, and I thought it's going to be a lot easier to paint it all together. I've also added the pilot in just to get his arms in the right position for him to be holding the control column and have his hand in a reasonable position.
You can see why on that particular kit, same as what Simon said, a lot of people would sub-assemble
rings that go around the pilot seat and his rear gunner position.
Because already I'm getting cringe about
so what I've
how's it.
done is I've put the side.
Like, remember the guy that drilled the holes out for the dials?
But I've mainly done that.
But how was he going to get his airbrush in there? And
so when I dry fitted the cockpit tub and the fuselage halves together, I could sort of envision you being able to see the.
I think it's going to be interesting to see if he has the same problem as scale model shed.
Instruments. So, as a just in case, I've used some lead wire for the wiring.
Scale model shed said there was a problem with the fuselage around the cockpit area not fitting properly.
And when the gun sight's in place, so I've just done it as a just in case. Obviously, you can see I've already painted.
You know, it's a brand new kit. Doesn't fit properly.
After this off camera, I'll give it a bit of a light wash with some sort of dark brown oil wash just to bring out all the.
So, solid scale models, we do like Simon.
Of this kit, they are extremely beautifully detailed.
Definitely.
You see the paint up really nicely.
So, right, so your next one, I think we're coming close to. Oh no, how many is that? That's that'll do for you.
Yeah, the rest of it are all bikes anyway, Mark. So.
All right, it's all right. Adrian, yours is. Let's start with yours. Yours is Barbarossa Models. Who's this?
It's a guy that because I sort of like wander off and do little dioramas and stuff there. He's somebody that I've followed for quite a while now. I found him on Instagram actually before I found him on YouTube, and then he's just a guy that's that does some really interesting subjects. They're not sort of like run-of-the-mill dioramas. He got some really interesting ideas and some really good tips. And it's just because it's a lot of
highly recommended, mate.
He's a good builder. He builds his models are good, and his dioramas.
Yeah, I've seen a few times yet.
Outstanding. He did a diorama. Yeah, he did a diorama about 6 or 7 months ago. Like he does a fair bit of First World War stuff, and he did a trench scene. But he actually he did this trench scene in a book about the First World War. So it was like the book was opened up, and he made the trench in the book, and he'd sort of like parts of the pages were still the writing, and it was an actual photograph from the book that he'd done the diorama on. Really, really clever. It was, and I just like he's like Paul said. I tend to watch people that have got a nice demeanour. They're easy to listen to, because I can't stand videos with cheesy music in the background. It does my head in. I just get really, really sort of like bored easily. And the fact that
go on.
If the world of electric has sparked your interest, plug into Auto
the fact
Trader,
that
the UK's #1 destination.
Most of the people I watch are people that, like yourself, like your good self. The videos you do are instructive,
skilled and beautiful.
Yeah, but they're not telling me how to glue things together and how to sand seams and all this sort of stuff, because I don't need that. I need to have a video that's like going through, like you do with going through the instruction book. This is good, that's good, this is bad, that's crap, this might give you a problem. Cool. I did this wrong.
James, we got a shout out there at bottom, mate.
Yeah, kitchen table modeler is Evening Gents.
Is it
he's a fellow YouTuber. One from Andy. Evening, gentlemen. How are you all?
Evening, chaps.
Good, Andy.
Evening, Andy. For the guys who are just catching up with us now, you've missed the club's huge news. You will have to watch it again, but if you fast forward about an hour and 29 minutes, the news is on at an hour and 30 minutes. So the content tonight, we're looking at the YouTubers that we watch when we go in the house downstairs. The missus has gone to bed. We flick the telly on. Blah de blah. I'm gonna have a watch of this guy and see what he's all about. Let's watch it.
Just got back from Spain, mate. Evening, Pete.
Yeah, I'm very jealous, mate. I hope it was not well done, not rare, medium rare.
Medium rare.
Yeah. Peppercorn sauce, onion rings, thick chunky chips. Forget your veg. You don't need any of that shit when you're having a steak. Eat onion rings, peppercorn sauce, thick chunky chips. Let me know.
Hi, and welcome to part 2 of this little series of videos diorama set on the Eastern Front during World War II, just behind the front lines. This little group of German soldiers resting up beside the riverbank, one of them fishing. They'll have a campfire here with a captive Russian soldier. On the road above will be a Panzer IV, which I'll just be revamping an old kit that I've already made, giving it a whitewash. And on the bridge, crossing the bridge, will be a couple of Russian peasant children calling down to the soldiers below, calling out for a fish that they've already caught. So that's the basic scenario here. What I've done since the original first video, I've made some little salmon out of some clay.
Wow.
And painted them up to try and depict some fish swimming upriver. Took a little while to do, but I'm reasonably pleased with how they've come out. These two will be on the riverbank already. They've been caught by this guy who's fishing for more. I've also added some fine grass and some rosemary leaves, some fresh
more fish than you.
Individually picked off.
There you go.
Subscribe down and then bent over.
I'm subscribing to this one.
Going this way underneath the bridge. This was the water. So once the water's been added, that should look quite nice with the.
Pause the video. We've got news. Pete's back on. Pete says chunky chips, 21-ounce ribeye, peppercorn sauce, peas, onion rings. Mate, you have absolutely bossed that tea. I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what. I'm hungry as a bastard now.
Yeah, hungry as a bastard. Cheers for that, Pete. Thanks a lot, mate.
We've got to stop mentioning food.
That's the first thing I did. The next thing I did was build up this riverbank with some plaster.
Obviously, I've not been chatting with lads for a while, but
some grass.
when I normally do. We talk about models, YouTube, kids, family, but it always ends up with us talking about food. Usually because Paul's got a bit of a stash there in his shed. He'll pull a bicky out. What you got there, Paul? Yeah, I don't know. Have you got out?
Eventually, also all of this will be.
We always end up going to bed hungry.
Yeah. What's he got? Is that popcorn or crisps?
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Good lad.
Like being at the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, mate.
No, like I say, this guy's he does some really interesting. He's not the runny and mill
when I position
diorama
the
builder.
guys
I
around
mean,
the
he's got some
campfire,
interesting
I have to
ideas.
gap, and I can
Yeah, it's
allow
bang
them
on
to
that,
overhang.
mate.
Normally, they would be perhaps a little bit closer to the fire.
So,
itself,
who's
but I
this
can build
guy?
the
This
fire up
is
quite
Barbarossa.
large around here.
Barbarossa models, yeah.
But I'm writing these down because I'm subbing to these. I have subbed to this one. That's a great recommendation. That Abe, spot on that one, mate.
If you wanna really see his work shine, is that one with the book. Oh, you don't have to show it now, but just go in and watch it when you get time. It's absolutely superb.
Yeah. General. Cool. Will do, mate. General, what's this? General Pele.
Yeah. It's a guy I found quite recently,
yes,
actually.
have I pronounced that?
Yeah, General Pele. It's somebody I found quite recently. It was only about 3 or 4 months ago, and it just popped up as a recommendation.
Yeah.
You know, you get these recommendations on YouTube.
Well, in fact, we're all swirling now.
I know he's done a patch as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. But some of his stuff is superb.
Right, let's have a look. This guy's gonna entertain us. Let's make that full screen again and press play. Let's see what we've got. Nice intro. That's off a intro app.
I mean, look at that. I think that's brilliant.
Like yours, that Aid.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Paul's. That's the one that Paul got, I think, isn't it?
Yes, it's my Tiger, but it's not my diorama. Obviously.
But he buys kit dioramas from that German company, and he scratch builds a hell of a lot of stuff himself. And I've got quite a few tips off of.
Let's have a listen.
For dramatic effect. We'll capture the essence of the harsh environment, the relentless battles, and the resilience of the soldiers as they maneuver through the icy terrain. Stay with us as we bring history to life, one meticulous detail at a time. For the industrial ruins, we are using a kit from RT Diorama, crafted from high-quality plaster. These pieces are intricately detailed, providing an authentic backdrop for our scene. First, we carefully spray each individual piece with a primer, ensuring an even coat that will help the subsequent layers of paint adhere more effectively. Next, we apply a white paint on the individual bricks. This technique highlights the texture and depth of the ruins, adding a sense of real models, a slightly lighter red tone is used. This gradient
I'm happy
effect
with that
simulates
one.
natural.
That one's getting a sub.
I think it's definitely. I think he narrates it into an AI and gets the AI voice. Because that, I don't think that's his voice.
Have a look here. That one was. Who was that one?
General Pele.
General Pell.
Or Pell, yeah.
Who was that?
General Pell.
Yeah, it was.
P-E-L-L-E.
General Pele scale models. General Pell. Yeah, I've hit subscribe already, mate. That's right up my street. That General Pell. Right, okay. Your next one, Aid.
Is the inner nerd.
You can't have that. No. You're not having that. That's one of mine. Plasmo is definitely not getting a shout out because he's got half a fucking planet following him. So let's have a look at Hammerhead models.
Yeah, good.
Definitely not. You're not having internet.
Not having Hammerhead.
No, we're on Hammerhead, I think.
Are we?
Hey.
I'll tell you what. It's been a while since we've had an aircraft on.
I'll tell.
There you go.
That Strike Eagle
12
is
emails, 30 messages,
absolutely
and a proposal due
beautiful.
by 10. How am I already underwater?
I'm in the same boat.
I'm in an actual.
Well, we're going to find out.
Tried to like training
Stirred him
ordnance, like, inert ordnance, and oftentimes they're painted in a blue color, and it was just something I've never done before, and I thought it would fit. And besides, there are pictures of this airframe with this type of inert ordnance on it, and so it's just kind of one of those things. Like, yeah, it would work out. Allow me to have the heritage, which I always liked, and it works both for the spirit of the build, but also like it was a realistic thing. And you apply too much, you could easily melt through your decal, especially if it's a thin decal like these Reed Publishing decals. It's very easy to accidentally melt through your decal.
Nice
There's
transition.
a few that I came really close to
Stars
destroying
and bars are on upside
because I
down.
saw the set. You have to be careful with it, but it's really nice because it'll get even some of the most stubborn decals to conform.
We've done that video,
and
Yeah.
this is the one
That
of
was
the
a good one.
decals that I ended up breaking a little bit. You can see that.
What I like about this
there,
guy as well, he
paint on
uses
it.
quite a bit of
These are the
artistic
inside versions
license,
of the
which
tail,
we
and
all do.
I really like
Because
the
I quite like that thing that people say, "Oh, I'm doing this because I think it looks good," and that's what modeling's all about.
Blakesley,
Very much
sorry,
so.
Blakesley,
One in
portrait on the
48,
inside tail.
Revel.
And
I
these are
wonder
just,
if it's
they're
an
just
aftermarket
really cool
nickel
looking.
pack.
Another fun thing, and I say fun and
No, I
in
think
definitely a non-sarcastic
I
tone.
think they did do that
all
one,
of the
Mark,
stencil
with the invasion stripes.
The designers at
Nice
McDonnell
that.
Douglas felt that they needed to apply on this
Yeah,
aircraft.
nice
Now,
paint job.
Fortunately, this isn't one of those like Japanese F-15
I love his
schemes where
transitions
they have these
between his
really cool,
clips.
elaborate paint schemes on it, but they mask over all of the stencil data, and so you have all these just little like random squares and rectangles of stencil data in the masterful paintwork.
The only thing I don't like about that, the decals, is that flame
sounds like a
decal on the
nightmare
top. It looks a bit too.
Anyway, so
bright.
once all the decals are down, I'm going to go ahead and do another.
Andy's asked a question on Zone 5. James?
Yeah, it's only. Is there any particular channels you're looking for? It's only what sort of like springs to mind with us, Andy. It's just what we're building and what we look for. Obviously, I've gone through you with your B-24.
So, Andy, as you know, mate, I've not done much modelling. And I contacted the lads the other day and said, while you've not been chatting to me, who have you been watching? Well, the whole essence of tonight's show is we're going through lots of people. So I've asked Paul, I've asked Aid, and I've asked James who they watch. Finally, we'll get round to me. And we're just sort of watching watching a few, just a couple of minutes worth of clips, mate. just so that the viewers that are watching us tonight.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. It's Sharon here. I've come to help you get washed and dressed. So it's very important that you...
So they can say, oh, I like that. I'm going to search that out. I'll write that down. I'll make a note of it. I'm definitely going to sub to that one. As far as it's not a competition, mate, you run a YouTube channel, I run a YouTube channel. The only goal that I'd ever got with running a YouTube channel was to get 1,000 subscribers, and I got that last year. So I don't mind promoting other people. I really don't. I really, really don't. In fact, you'll want to mine in a minute when we get round to me. Why have we got building a night shift diorama?
Hang on. Hold on. Paul wants to ask a question.
Whoa,
He's got his hand up.
Right.
I just want to say that is an aftermarket sticker set for that F-15.
Right.
It is. Right.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Cheers, mate. Aid pulling my leg.
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs. And I'd like to try and recreate it on my own channel as a kind of a homage to
Because you haven't got a 16.5 foot fucking
It may
flag.
sound a bit strange that I'm asking for my own ideas, but I thought it would be a fun project to try.
Right, come on, let's get into it.
Yeah, nice kit this is, Mark. I mean, a lot of these videos that we watch are the things that we've all done and we've all seen before and everything. But I use videos on YouTube as reference more than anything, because a lot of the things that we see on YouTube is things that we can do, if you know what I mean. But
we can do, we have done.
Yeah. But it's reference, and sometimes you'll pick up a really nice technique that you've never used before, and it's always nice to see how other people do it, and it's sort of like a something you think to yourself, well, I'm doing it right, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's good. Good point. That
I'm not a complete and utter twat. I'm doing it okay.
Yeah, you're quite right there, mate. Because I do believe which build was it for me? It was the Spitfire. It was the 1 in 24 Spitfire. The Airfix one that Airfix brought. Obviously, Airfix brought it out a couple of years since, and I'd started building that. And then I came across this guy. And started watching his videos, and I'm not kidding. It's like I'm sort of like halfway through building the kit, and he's built it in sequence. This is it, and it got up to about video 4, each one showing obviously what he's done. And every time I kept watching it, I was thinking, I've done that bit right. Like he's me dad or something. You know what I mean?
But it's confirmation that you're doing a decent job, if you know what I mean. And you feel you feel quite sort of like chuffed when you think you see all these guys that have got video channels and they got loads of subscribers, all this sort of stuff. And then you think, well, I am doing a half decent job.
Yeah. You've just seen me. I've subscribed to this guy. I will. I mean, just because I sub to a guy, that's another thing I must stress. A lot of times, I mean, my memory's like shit. I watch a video and I think, chuffing hell, that's good, and I will instantly subscribe to that guy. But obviously, if I troll through the rest of his videos and I think none of that is reference to me whatsoever, I'll unsub. It's you know, if I've got what I want.
9 times out of 10, when I'm searching for YouTube, and we all do it, we're searching for the subject matter that we're building.
Yes.
We don't go out there and look for video just for the sake of it. You think, right?
No.
I'm building the craft. I go out there and look at it.
Yeah.
I said that at the very start. That's exactly why I'm subscribed to these people, because they've got the subject I've got.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got a subject.
Your last one, mate.
Yeah, the last one is not a modelling channel, but I'm almost addicted to this one. It's
fantastic channel for reference videos. They've got all sorts of reference videos of all different aircraft, all different eras, different genres, and all this sort of stuff. And there's so much reference material in these videos; it's outrageous. I've only watched about 4 or 5, but there's especially I watched the one about the Vulcan bomber, which I'm planning to do, and it's there's a lot of stuff about the Vietnam War as well. If anybody's interested in that, and it's just a really good reference site.
Right, let's have a watch. Let's have a watch.
It's a good site for getting the history on the aircraft as well, which I'd quite like to do.
Yeah, I must admit, I've seen a few of these, but I'm not a subscriber, but I will be now.
A joint effort between the USAF, the U.S. Navy, and the South Vietnamese Air Force, designed to cripple North Vietnam in the south.
I'm subbing to this one. Done.
Lieutenant General Spence Armstrong took part in this key operation, piloting and leading F-105s into battle as a flight commander, and later as an operations officer.
I think there's certain people of a certain age, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not we're not telewatchers. Telewatchers would much rather have interests as personally on YouTube, and with YouTube you can type in exactly what you want to watch and find it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
I mean, I'd rather
put a comment on.
Yeah, Andy's definitely the content is more important than subs or likes. I personally don't care for likes or subs.
No, I don't.
I think if you want to grow your channel, then yeah.
Yeah, I will if I genuinely enjoy a video or think it's good reference or whatever, I'll give them a like because they've put in the effort to make it, if you know what I mean. And from talking to Mark, I know how much work there is behind making a video. It's like it's not just filming and then bunging it up. It's like days and days of editing and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I will give them a like because I appreciate the work that they put in for something that I don't have to pay for.
And I think Pete there's going. He says this guy has an amazing channel. I think that was Hammerhead. He has. He really.
Yeah, he has. I've watched quite a lot of his stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the same there. I don't always, the little bell when you get notifications. You get a notification, don't you, if you press the bell on there?
Put your tick and subscribe.
Yeah, but I don't always.
Is that your Wi-Fi is shocking?
I think it might be yours, Mark. Actually, mate.
But I've only got I've subscribed to probably, I don't know, 45, 50 different channels, but I've probably only got 10 of them that I have notifications from.
Yeah. Paul's up. Hang on.
Paul.
Yeah. I've got you with that one.
Can I just say, I mean, like, I don't even bother with notifications because I do my YouTube every day. I just go through my subscriptions and I can see who's put a new video up. So if it's a new video, I watch it. I don't need to be notified.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. Fair comment, mate.
Like when I scroll through, it always I can tell by the thumbnail anyway if it's a new video or not. So.
But it is a minefield out there on YouTube because there are thousands upon thousands of videos and stuff.
Okay, I think that comes back right. So we've done you three, haven't we? We're all right with that.
Yeah.
I've subbed to 4 brand new channels there that look really interesting. So I'm going to pick 4 or 5 that I watch. All right, and I'm going to start with I want to start with this one. You can obviously see me type it in. It's one called A4 Garage.
Brilliant.
Okay.
That's why I didn't have that in my list, because I knew you'd have it in your list.
Oh, are we all on?
Yeah.
Are we all on?
Yeah.
Are we all on? Yeah. Right, cool.
Yeah.
So this. Go on.
No, I was just putting my thumb up, saying
James?
we're on.
Down,
All right, okay. Your Wi-Fi is shocking tonight, Ed.
No, it's yours, mate.
Is it mine?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because you've got quite a bit going on yours.
Yeah, I think so.
Because when you come off sharing your screen, we all go lovely, but
yeah, I think it's
My family rescued the dog with chronic flatulence and switched her to home cooked food. Within a few weeks, she was living her best life.
That was the moment Butternut Box was born.
Right, this A4
With Virgin Media, get smooth, lightning fast M125 broadband.
There's no narration on it, right?
No set.
Let me just see if I can find. So obviously it starts off with, Ford Mustang 1 in 24 Revel, blah blah blah. Now he only builds cars. I don't even know where he's from, but you can see that standard kit, da da da, and it obviously goes through it all, right? But it's when he gets to it's when he starts detailing that's just the absolute chuffing advert.
Dogs danglies.
I want to try and find one of his engine bits.
Look at that. He's even put the white writing on the fan belt.
Yeah, so just wait. Let's watch this for 2 minutes.
Okay, what's a little mini lathe? Your filter.
Yeah, his detailing is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
Yeah. When you talk about inspiration, so even if I'm building a large scale aircraft, if I want to concentrate myself so much on making sure that my detail's as good as it can be, this is one of the 2 guys that I will watch that give me the inspiration to go make sure that this part that you're building next, Mark, is absolutely meticulous. This is one of the guys that I watch. Cheers, Dave.
See you later on, Dave.
Cheers, Dave. Take care, mate. But what blew me away with this is that he put the white writing on the white text on the fan belt. It absolutely blew me away.
Yeah, I think this is ignition leads.
Yeah.
And it will put them all individual into holes in the distributor
distributor.
Yeah, the distributor. Yeah, watch this.
She's like Coulter, but on 4 wheels.
That one, chaps, that one is A4 garage. And again, obviously it doesn't mean no to me if you...
Yeah, he froze again.
I'm not bothered about that, Mark. If you go and subscribe, you do. If you don't, you don't. I'm not really that fussed. I just mentioned it.
No, but I mean,
It's
you recommended
Coulter.
this to me about 3 or 4 months ago, and I went out. I've been an avid watcher ever since.
Yeah, mate. Right, Coulter scale model. So A4 garage does cars, and Coulter does bikes. And Paul's absolutely right. The detail that this guy goes into with his bikes is just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is unreal.
And again, I'll take inspiration from any of these guys. Obviously, watching what they do. Let's see if we can. So again, he's exactly the same. He starts off with and this is what it is, and he goes through bag and etc. etc.
This is the guy that puts all his own spokes in the wheels, and it blows my mind away.
I always end up coming back into the shed, you know, and after 10 minutes of trying to fanny about with spindly tweezers, I'm like, no, back to finger and thumb. And another thing that I've noticed, they must get a lot of the parts from like Asia, because some of the stuff that I see on here, I think, where the chuffing hell have you got that from?
Yeah, we don't get it over there, do we? Unless you buy it.
You can't get it, like, but you can't get it.
Most of the stuff on here you can get from Hero Boy.
Oh,
you can get it from anywhere. You can get it from Amazon if you look. What I tend to do, if there's something I see on there, if you pause the video and get the part number off the package.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot
of it's Tamiya stuff. Tamiya do a massive range of like tubes and pipes and plastic wiring and all sorts of stuff. It's I've got boxes of the stuff here.
Plus, if you go down your local hobby shop, you get similar stuff. Hobby crafting stuff, tubing and piping and thread and wire and chains, everything, all sorts.
Plus, I save a lot of stuff. Like if somebody's thrown out, I've never thrown a SCART cable away for the last 10 years because I've just stripped it and used all the wiring for bits and
SCART cable, it's not 1988, lad.
Yeah, but old SCART cables, I've got bags of them so that you can just strip them down and use all the wiring for detailing. Old telephone cables, they're really thin lines.
So that one, Coulter scale models, is just going to start and stick it all together now. But that's another one that I watch.
Fast forward it to the finished product, Mark.
Let's have a look for you, mate.
This is a particularly nice build. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, Pete's put up one there, Tim Scale Modeling. Yeah, I've watched him. Pete, he's really good, mate. He really is good.
Look at those downpipes from the exhaust. They're absolutely perfect.
I mean, I look at this, Paul, and then I look at that Zundat that I built, and I think that was just literally thrown together.
Yeah, but it's more of a military vehicle, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's nowhere near as refined as a modern bike. You know what I mean?
No. What's Pete put? Shh. Pete, still thinking about that steak, mate.
Yes. Saying that he did put a comment in there saying he's got stretch marks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, worth it. Isn't it? Worth it.
Absolutely. This guy is. I've seen him do a couple of videos where he's done a couple of cafe races.
Upgraded Holgate Total.
And they're really
Science ever. And the #1 brand recommended by dentists.
I think he's coming up to end of his
Delicious new
now.
Kit Kat cherry.
Oh, this is
Salted
coated. Models linked in my description underneath this video, and you can just obviously add in all the detail. Petrol cap. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How big is that going to be, Paul? How big?
Maybe 4 inches.
Yeah, it's 112. It's 112 scale, so
4 or 5 inches wheel to wheel.
Yeah.
No, maybe 6, maybe 6,
Yeah,
6, 7 inches.
Tip
a wheel.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 inches, 4 inches tall.
Yeah, really nice.
So, my next one is Tom Grigger. And I am. Are you all familiar with the Revel? In fact, here you go. Right, so Tom, a very unique builder, right?
Yeah, I've seen these. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Tom's
Stop
a
motion.
very unique builder. Rewind it a bit. Stop motion. Yeah, I'll let you watch. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
Do you think your videos are time-consuming, Mark?
Mate, come on.
Yeah.
Isn't this one where he puts it in like a museum setting and he's got like a screen in it and everything? And
Yeah, that's the one.
There's like a rope cordon around it and stuff.
That's right.
No, I don't think it's the editing as such. I mean, every single movement that he's got to make. You know, how many frames a minute?
So much time he spent on doing these.
Adverts. It's how we get paid.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really cleverly done.
His engine work shows the pretty up there as well, I've got to say. I'm just going to keep that playing while I just go and get a heat pad for my back.
Yeah. No worries.
Away.
I mean, this is proper professional stuff, I think.
It is, mate. Yeah. I mean, to say the time and effort that he's taken to do that, it must take forever.
Unreal.
Right, mate, I've got to go for a minute. All right. Mark will be back in a moment.
You can't leave. You're in charge now.
Yeah, I know I am, mate, but I thought, yeah.
Nice end result as well.
Yeah, very nice.
You've got to love a Lancaster, don't you?
Well, yeah, you have. You've got to build one. I'm glad you're back, mate. I've got to go. 2 minutes.
What?
I've got to go. 2 minutes.
What do you think to Tom's modelling in motion?
Brilliant. Been watching him for quite a long time. He was one of the videos I used for the reference when I built my Tamiya 1/48 Lanc.
I can watch this guy all day.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. He goes the extra mile, as they say.
Yeah. He does. Extra marathon, this lad.
He doesn't just do this, like Paul said, he doesn't just do the model, he puts this into a like a museum setting and does like a diorama in a museum, and it's absolutely outrageously good.
Right, we got Paul's coming back. Right, my next one, I am moving on because I'm conscious of time, 2 hours and 37 minutes. My next one is called, it's not modelling, it's the operations room. The reason that I like this one, I will obviously play one just to show you why I like it. In fact, look at this one. This is a great one. Good narration as well. Fantastic graphics, very simple.
Big ideas.
Moment, the Avro Vulcan howling down the runway on Ascension Island had not performed an air-to-air refueling in many years. After a crash training course in the dangerous skill, the crew embark on a 9,000-mile journey that would become, at the time, the longest bombing raid in history. 11 Handley Page Victor tankers have taken off with the 2 Vulcan bombers. One is to make the attack, and the other is a reserve that will return home after the first refuel. However, within minutes of the final aircraft taking flight, the mission suffers its first setback. The crew of Vulcan XM598, the primary Vulcan, discover that the cabin is not pressurizing because of a leak in a cockpit window. They are forced to that will carry. On the 2nd of April 1982, Argentine forces landed on and claimed the South Atlantic British territory of the Falkland Islands. The British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, demanded the islands back, and immediately ordered a naval task force to set sail from the UK to reclaim them. This would be a dangerous operation. The nearest UK territory was Ascension Island, more than 3,500 miles away, and the British task force was vulnerable in that its air defence would rely heavily on 2 aircraft carriers. The Argentine Air Force could take off from Stanley Airfield on the Falkland Islands, and used the dangerous Exocet missile against the Royal Navy, a weapon that would later destroy British ships. The only aircraft capable of carrying the ordnance to disable the runway at Stanley was the Vulcan, an aging bomber approaching retirement designed to drop nuclear weapons in western Russia. It didn't have the range to complete the enormous round trip for an ascension, and it hadn't performed conventional precision bombing or air-to-air refueling in years. An enormous engineering effort was required to get the fueling system working again, and the pilots scrambled to learn and refresh their skills. It would take 11 Victor tankers and a very complex refueling plan to put one Vulcan over the target. There was very little contingency for error in fuel calculations and equipment failure. Soon after Vulcan 598 aborts, Victor XL163, call sign White 4, discovers a problem with its refueling equipment and also returns home. Victor XH669, the reserve tanker, replaces White 4. At around 1:45 AM, the formation enters the first of 3 refueling brackets. The Victors begin to pair up to exchange fuel until the receiver's tanks are fully topped up. Victor XL511, call sign Blue 1, refuels Vulcan 607. At the conclusion of the first refuel, all of the empty tanked Victors turn towards Ascension with the exception of Blue 1, who stays with the Vulcan to top it up once more near the end of refuel bracket 1. The aircraft have been split into 3 colour-coded sections, white, red and blue. The mission is taking place in total darkness, so the grouping of aircraft into refuel groups makes locating the correct tanker for the correct refuel a little easier. Blue 1 gives 607 final top-up before turning back to Ascension. The crews of the returning Victors are discovering that there is a big problem. All aircraft in the formation are using much more fuel than planned for. Not only is this raising serious doubts of the achievability of bringing the Vulcan home to Ascension, but the returning aircraft themselves are seriously low on fuel. The attacking force enters fuel bracket 2. Red 4 briefly receives fuel from Red 2 before giving fuel on to White 2. It takes around 20 minutes in close formation to complete the transfer, after which Red 4 turns for home. The Vulcan then slots in behind Red 2 to receive its next refuel, and simultaneously White 2 refuels White 4. 15 minutes later, and with refuel bracket 2 complete, another Victor makes the turn back to base. Back at Ascension, 4 Victors are taking off. Their mission will be to get a single Victor to meet with and refuel the Vulcan on its homeward journey. The reserve tanker discovers an equipment failure shortly after takeoff and returns home. If there is another problem in the remaining 3, the Vulcan will not make it home. The 30-year-old Victors and Vulcans are showing their age. 3,000 miles south of Ascension, White 2 refuels the Vulcan. They're flying into trouble as a violent electrical storm forms around them. After the refuel is complete, the aircraft begin to lurch around.
So as much as you get into that, you're like, keep going. I can't keep going. So that is the operations room. Links in the description. Coming up to the last couple. Because
I just want to say that the bloke whoever worked that refueling thing out must have been an absolutely mathematical genius.
Yes, mate.
The only thing is they only hit the runway with 1 bomb. After all that,
wasn't the point, Aid?
It wasn't. No, it was a show of force more than anything else.
It was.
Yeah, man.
The strafing run, as they call it.
This chap.
I unsubscribed from this guy years ago. Hasn't done anything for about 4 years, Mark. He's only done about 4 videos.
A video for... Are we all together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So this chap's not made a video for a while. He's not made that many videos, to be fair. He's only got 16 on. 1,590 subscribers. But I just look. They call him Zach. He's from Texas. And I have spoken to him a couple of times. What a dude he is. Absolute dude and a half. I think his narration is just fantastic. And I'm going to play a clip from this one. ZTE works.
Toshiba are defining the future in quantum transformation.
Delivering quantum secure communication solutions
required a lot of work to.
Oh, let's start again.
So, in terms of salary, you were thinking.
I was hoping you would tell me what you were thinking.
Oh, I insist, please.
I insist.
I insist.
I insist.
Please.
Just tell her what you want, for God's
Set salary
sake.
expectations from the start and skip the awkward chat.
He was far too young to be a project manager.
Oh, this is that, isn't it? What a show.
The IS-2 was born. The kit on the bench today is by Zvezda. Zvezda is a Russian manufacturer, and they primarily focus on Soviet or Russian vehicles. Despite the fact I'm essentially a full-on communist at this point, I was never really fascinated with Soviet tanks the way I was German or American tanks. I bought this with the intent to do it up in the livery of the Stalin from Girls and Panzer, but through this one, so break out your Adidas track pants and get ready to invade a Balkan state. We're building. So I don't speak Russian, and Zvezda has an impossible consonant cluster. So from now on, I'm just going to be saying Zvezda. The contents of the box are 3 sprues of olive drab plastic, 2 identical sprues of metallic silver vinyl, the instructions, a tiny decal sheet, and this little jar I wasn't expecting. Because I speak God's chosen English, I don't know what this says. Turns out it's cement. The hull is not molded bathtub style, requiring us to assemble the hull plate and walls. After fiddling with this for a while, I finally understand why it's not done more often. In my example, the base plate has warped. Not a whole lot, but just enough to make attaching the walls a real pain. I grab a scrap piece of square stock and glue it to the bottom, clamping it to my bench while it dries. After that, I can carefully glue the port side hull wall in place using green tape to keep it all there. I started working on the starboard side hull and undercarriage while the floor was drying, but we'll come back to that later. The upper deck is where we'll find the more interesting features of the tank. The most prominent feature in the front vehicle, including the Stalin. The track is pulled around the sprocket, then to the return rollers, across the idler, and underneath the road wheels before returning to the sprocket once again. The idler at the front of the tank is the same as the road wheels, 2 steel wheels without tires. Each road wheel pair is mounted on a swing arm, which is in turn connected to a torsion bar running through the bottom of the hull. Each limited in their travel by a fairly massive bump stop. Unfortunately, I don't see any shock absorbers, so I'm willing to bet it was a pretty bumpy ride. The idler controls track tension, and unfortunately I don't see any mechanisms by which the crew adjusted it. I can tell, however, that this feature, most likely a massive screw, moved in or out, which pushed the road wheel in or out. Track tension on Soviet tanks is odd, but we'll come back to that later. The front fenders are wafer thin, and period photos consistently show them beat to hell or just flat out removed. To improve the look of them, you can cut them off and replace them with a slice of thin sheet metal. The sponsons are missing entirely, and that, combined with the antiquated hull construction, gives us an indication that this is probably an older kit. I carefully measure their width and length and cut them from 0.5mm sheet styrene and glue them into place. The upper and lower holes don't fit together without removing a fair amount of plastic and using a lot of cement.
Like I say, he has only got 16 videos on, but his narration's absolutely fantastic. I love the kid. He's proper whacked out, and I've got a lot of time for him. My last one, a couple of shout outs though before I do, because I do need to show this one. So Zone 5 Aviation Andy, who's moved from New Zealand back to England, shout out for that one. Zone 5 Aviation, link in the description. And I think I've done Greg, and I've done Greg. The last one I'm going to share, and I think it's a favourite for all of us, or for some of us, is the Inner Nerd. The Inner Nerd, I think, is a Lancashire lad. But again, he's his narration is just absolutely superb, and his video just picking one at random.
Sometimes the best beginnings start with a click.
Oh,
In a nerd. The last time you saw me complete a US aircraft in navy blue was when I built Tammy's 148th Corsair. If you missed this video, click the card at the top of the screen or use the link in the description below. So now I'm back and doing it again 2 years later with
See, now this could be the guy that's moved to Sweden. His voice sounds similar.
This kit is from the Profipat range, so you get some extra detail ups, including engine and cockpit photo etch parts, as well as resin wheels. A great addition to most kits, as they are always more detailed than the ones off the sprue.
My back feels nice and warm.
Good, mate. At least it's working.
Have you shit yourself?
The instrument panel is to add the dial lenses. I use Mr. Colour GX100 Super Clear varnish to drop into the dial windows and create the glass effect.
Thanks for that. Hope you fucking joke, you cunt.
Do you want me to kick him off?
Pumping Jim.
Oh, go and touch him.
Sorry, couldn't resist it. Couldn't resist it.
No, it's my heat pad, mate. It's my heat pad.
Finding some blueprints online, I printed them out 1:1 to scale with the model and transferred the rivet data onto the model using the measurements on the drawing. I will be using this information later on.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is. Let me.
PVA glue was used on the can.
Let me fast forward a bit.
After the base layer was complete using the splatter mask, I thinly layered up the navy blue to unify the colour. My initial intention for the chromate base was to chip away to reveal the primer underneath, but since the images of the aircraft I was using didn't show any, it turned out to be a little bit pointless.
Nice, steady little strokes there with airbrush.
Yeah.
It's important to go lightly on these layers so that the mottle coat is not covered completely. The effect is very subtle and hard to see on camera, but there are visible changes in tone all over the model.
He's a cracking fella, this.
Yeah, he is. He's enjoyable to listen to and enjoyable to watch.
Advert.
Soot from the cartridge slots was made using black oil paint, which was dotted just after the exit. Then with the thinner dampened medium-sized brush, the oil was dragged backwards to create a streak from the hole. Again, this may take several passes and blends to achieve the effect you're after.
What we found with Google is that we could grow exponentially. Loki is a combination of a lifestyle and a purposeful brand. In a luxury market.
Skip. Attention to detail.
Yeah. What it's all about.
Followed by some light chipping with a grey pencil. And that's it. The final piece was attached.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed.
Very nice indeed.
That's a proper iconic American aircraft as well, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he's a great ESP is a great modeler, mate. His narration's great. Everything about him, superb. Absolutely superb. So I'll get rid of that, and we are back on screen, lads. We've been going for 2 hours and 55 minutes. Can you believe it? 2 hours and 55 minutes. We'll have a quick look through Sescool Models Live. Have you enjoyed looking at these videos tonight?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Picked up a couple of 3 new ones.
We're pretty,
yeah. Right,
I think we're pretty much all subscribed to the same people, aren't we? I'd say.
Yeah, I would say 85, 90% that we are.
Dronescapes, that's definitely getting a look. See.
Yeah, I picked up the operations room. That'll be getting watched.
There's some really, really good ones on there, Aid. Things like the Black Hawk Down one, the Gulf War ones are incredible. They're absolutely.
That's
right. So let me.
I think we're all the same, but like you said before, Mark, that we tend to not watch a massive amount of telly, but we like watching our documentaries on our subject, if you know what I mean.
On the subject, yeah. On the subject matter that you're building, yeah.
What do you think to that?
Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice. That's one of Andy's,
That's
isn't
the
it?
Helicate. That's actually Ian Clemming.
Oh, that's Clem's. Oh.
That's Ian. Yeah, it's Clem's. It's Clem's. Absolutely so.
Go back to your group photograph.
Brought it down to the last club. Which one?
The one that you had on.
What the Bolton
that
one?
and then go forward.
That one.
Yeah. When you've got your beach flags there, you're going to be like little dots in the distance to get the beach flags in.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to use them there.
No.
It's a very low ceiling, Mark.
Well, we probably won't there, to be honest, because season 8, meet 6. This is the last meeting. Mr. Hart up there starting another boat, which is that one, James.
Yeah, modern one, mate.
Musashi.
And he's got it in his hand there so that you can see that.
That's
a 177 scale. Or... Fuck that.
I don't know. That's some of the photo etch that comes with the kit. And I particularly like this fret because I said, what's that big hole there in the middle? And he went, it's that little piece there, look, that's on the diameter.
Yeah.
That's pure evil, that is. Pure bloody evil.
Pure evil. Mr. Bridge and Sean. So when I do my videos, and I say Sean from SGS Models, with the Quinta set and what have you. Sean's shop. It's not a shop. He works from home. He's only an onliner, but he does us a fantastic favour every single month. He comes on the second meeting in the month, which means unfortunately you guys won't see him. But he always brings a little table of paints and glues and all the kind of little stuff.
Well, I've met him a few times, Mark, haven't I?
Sorry, I've missed one. You have, mate. And if you just look at the back here, so we gave him a couple of tables and he brings a couple of kits. Now, again, with Sean, you know, if you're part of a club or you run a club or whatever, Sean actually does us like a payment of a 3-month. So if we've got a kit that we fancy and we look on eBay or we'll look wherever and we say, oh, I fancy a bit of that. What we tend to do is we go to Sean and we say, how much is this? Well, straight away, he discounts us, literally back down to sale price. And then if I haven't got 100 quid in my wallet to give him, they say, right, well, we'll do it over Shawnee pay. Pay me £33 this month, £33 following month.
Yeah.
Pay the final, and then as soon as you've paid the final payment, I will order it. Which is great. It's great for us. That's Michael.
What is this? Is this a crane?
Yeah, it's a crane. So Michael, the chap that sat there, he run a little model show last month called Brampton Beerlow Model Show, which we were lucky enough to go to. And Michael, the organizer, he does a bit of scale electric, a bit of modelling, but he's scratch built that crane out of some balsa. Our Angie's sat there. She's just had an operation on his knee, and this is down at club. See all chairs stacked up, and we've all got our own individual little lights, all running off the sockets. Rue and Jean, so that's Rue that's got us the flags, and his lovely Mrs. RG, First Lady. Bridget is in the middle of doing the hawk, and he's got the can of Monster there, just leaning the canopy up against that while it sets. Somebody's station, I don't know whose that is, but again, lights with magnifying glasses on. Andy White, fantastic character. He's Andy, loves a laugh. Bob the modeler from Doncaster. Mr. Chris, who constantly builds Hawker Hurricanes. That's Dale from Rye Hill. Simon, who won bonus ball last month, a nice 48 quid in the back pocket. Heath, sporting the 7th year anniversary fleece. And if you look at Simon's got the 5th year anniversary soft shell on. Somebody else's station. Our Trev, Dave, Michael, and Lyd. With Lewis. Look, Lewis always having a look at what kits Sean's brought in.
Yeah.
Very much so. Chewing the fat there. Chewing the fat.
Clemmy there as well.
There's that
Well, that Clem. Yeah, Clem.
Yeah, that's a Tempest. That's a Tempest, isn't it?
No, it's either a Tempest or a Typhoon, yeah.
That's Mark Lyd's work.
It's nice.
I took the photographs and edited those for Marky Mark.
I really think he's doing
like
the same with the Hurricane in 1/32.
Yeah.
Mark's cockpit. And I did manage to take that really evil looking shot for him. A little bit too much light on that one, I think.
Difficult colour to photograph, black.
It is, mate, yeah. Clem's Heller, Massey Ferguson tractors, done a cracking job on that. Managed to get both sides. When I take a photo of the lads, yeah, mate. Yeah, I'm going to get that. When I take a photo of the lads, I always put the subject to one side and leave a space here. I just think that aesthetically, it just looks.
Yeah, it does.
Looks better than being in the middle. But that's just me. And he's done a cracking job on that. Some lovely detail. And yes,
nice.
my dad was a farmer back in the day. So I am actually going to buy that kit and do that for my dad. And that's just a little montage that I put together. And I think that's it for that one. So that's the lads down at club. Pete, if you're still on, is Pete still on?
I
Is
think
Pete
so,
still
yeah,
on,
yeah.
Pete?
Yeah.
Look what we've got here. Some kind of
MiG, isn't it?
Pete's still on, yeah.
MiG 19, isn't it?
Yeah, it's either a 15 or a 19.
Lovely that, kid.
Yeah, nice chip in.
Nice one, mate. Nice chip in. Like a bit of chipping. There's no more pictures on that particular one, which is why it won't fast forward. James,
Oh, that's
what
my
you got
remodel.
there?
That's my remodel of me shed.
Is that your remodel of your shed?
Yeah, that's when Paul and James did the changing rooms thing, didn't
Yeah,
they?
they did the changing room. Me and Paul was yapping, and Paul was sort of like, "Oh, that's got to go there, and this has got to go there." That's my actual setup now. So, yeah, that's my
Tidy. Comments. Pete says, "Goddamn commies." Inner Nerd's a great modeler.
Kitchen table.
Go on, James. You'll do your
kitchen table modeler. He's another chap I watch. He's actually built the Oshkosh port.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, done a nice job of it as well. Really nice job of it.
Cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's where I remember it from.
Yeah.
Kitchen table.
Yeah, Pete mentioned Tim's. I've got to find it now. Hang on. Tim's scale modeling.
While you're finding that,
I've got a feeling that was. I've got a feeling he's got something to do with Tim's scale modeling.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. If he get back to
while
me.
we're looking through that, let's not take any of Aid's thunder away from him. Aid, take over the commentary, mate.
It's a Larry 1/9 Barry Sheen RG500. Absolutely loved building it. It's an old kit. It's from about, I think it's sort of like 82, 83.
Around the same time the bike was in real life.
Yeah, and it's but I really enjoyed doing it. But there's a massive amount of plumbing and electrical work to do on it. Took me quite a long time.
Yeah,
but it's a decent kit. Decent kit. The exhaust took me over a week because I actually put the weld seams on there with wire and stuff, but it came out all right. But really pleased with the paint job. The paint job, I give credit to Mark because he recommended the. If you remember, I messaged you and asked you about the red and what you did. What you did on your double-decker bus, and it came out absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful. Just a little shout out for club stuff then. So the company that we use is called Glow Clothing, GLOWE. That stands for Gale Low. And this is the new Monotone Phoenix twin panel polo, which is showing the Monotone Phoenix there and a grey side panel down the side. The back with the Spitfire. We're not going to mention what's coming up. That's the Monotone hoodie. Monotone Phoenix hoodie. We didn't want any names on the Season 8 merch. That's from the other side. Nice deep pockets, zip up the front. All available either through me or through Glow Clothing. That's on the back. And I'll tell you what, it's lovely that. That's the polo and the hoodie. I think, James, are you after some merch?
Yeah, I'm after one of both, mate.
I'm after a hoodie.
One of both. One of both. And I think and Aidy's after a hoodie as well. Pete, what we got here, guys?
Corsair.
Corsair.
What's
No,
that?
iconic.
What is it? Corsair?
Yeah, Corsair.
I can't remember the name. Looks like a 1 in 72, that, Pete. Don't look big, that, mate. Them
Another
decals have gone
iconic
down nice. Oh,
American aircraft, definitely. That's the carrier one, isn't it, with the folding wings?
yeah, decals have gone down nice there, Cocker. Well tidy.
Yeah, nice work.
Who's that? What's that? That's Paul. Paul?
Holy Sherman, that was a nice job.
Paulio.
Lovely job.
Yeah, man. It was a Mengs 35th scale Sherman with some resin aftermarket sort of backpacks and logs and stuff. Brilliant kit. Absolutely loved building it. Absolutely brilliant. Loved it.
Done a good job as well. I remember commenting on this when we'd had a little phone call about that, the way you bent the aerial down.
That was finished a while ago.
Yeah, well, I remember commenting about how you bent the aerial down. I thought the aerial was a touch of genius.
A touch of genius.
Well,
right.
got somebody from France.
What do you mean?
Somebody from France popped in.
Bonjour. Good evening. Hope you well. We've had loads of comments on tonight from you guys. Pete, you've been extremely busy. Hope that you love that steak, mate. And you've put me right in mood for a steak now, mate. I've got to go and do it.
I haven't had steak, mate.
21 Don't mention donuts.
Don't mention donuts.
No donuts.
Cool beans. We have been on air for 3 hours and 11 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how time flies. Pete's going to put some more pics on the Facebook page. Yes, please. Sesco Models Live, or in French, Sesco Models Live is there.
What?
You've just had
if France was in where was that France you from?
Mate, you've just had me best Franche.
I was just going to say it wasn't even hello standard.
No, it wasn't.
Bonjour, right. I think you'll find that I've got more of a southeastern area French accent. Right.
I think you'll find you're full of shit.
Northern Yorkshire.
Yorkshire friend. Do you know what? I've been twice. What a beautiful country. I digress. We have talked tonight about Sesco Models Live, where we've been, my poorly back, shitting myself, all the models that everybody's built, the TikTok followers. Let me just have a look. Club on 5th of April, huge news, the commission build, Dave Taylor's sprue holder, and a lot of channels that we've all looked at. I've played, 2 or 3 minutes of each clip, just so that we can get the flavour. Are you going to subscribe to any of those, or what?
Yeah, definitely. I've got at least
I
2 or 3 that
most of them I've already got, to be honest. But
I think a lot of us use the what I call the usual suspects, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, mate.
There are definitely 2 or 3. I think
One of the hardest things about streaming is coming up with a subject that people find interesting. It's as simple as that, because you want to engage with an audience, and it's all right talking about what I'm building and what you're building, but we try to, for the people who are watching, the people who are watching live, the people who are going to watch it later on, the reason that we choose the subjects that we do is so that it interacts with you guys who are, I'm building that, I've got that in my stash, I fancy a bit of that. And it's like with tonight's videos, chuffing hell, that YouTube channel looks mint, I'm going to do. And it's all about our channel, myself, and James, Paul and Aid, and I know Aid's a newcomer, but it's all about what we know, what we can share, what we enjoy, what we've done, and it's about sharing our hobby, our love of the hobby with the people who are watching. Just so whether it's dioramas, techniques, paints, what airbrush do you use, it's all of it all tied in. And I think that's what makes us different, James, to other people who stream.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. It's all about diversity, as they say. It's just we don't want to be the same as that, like watching people gluing stuff together and watching people sanding seams and stuff like that. It's just not. It's not interesting.
No, it's not interesting. You're quite right. You've got to have a subject, and it's one of the hardest things. It is one of the hardest things because do you know what? And again, for the people who are watching, once we've finished, and I bump everybody off, and I said me thank yous for watching, etc., etc. I don't bump them off. I just drop them back into the green room, and then we have another 10, 15 minutes after that. And one of the things that we sort of calibrate, how did it go? How did everybody get enough screen time and one thing and another? Did James keep on topic comments and everything? And we tie it all together, and then my brain starts going about we're on again in a couple of weeks. What the hell are we going to talk about? Well, in a couple of weeks' time, on the 5th of April, sorry. I've got Paul and James coming to the club. So on the stream on a night time, Paul will probably still be motorbiking home. James will probably be driving back down to his auntie's, where he's staying for a weekend.
No.
No, he's going to be
your place.
Are you going to be here?
Your place.
Yeah, he's going to be sat in Dale's chair.
Have I even sat in that chair?
In Dale's chair.
Sat in Dale's chair.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a co-host by the sounds of it. James obviously never been up to my shed. Can't wait for you to come in and go, chuffing out, it's a lot smaller than what I thought it was going to be. Like everybody else.
Mark, what I'm looking forward to,
shed, mate.
What I'm looking forward to is seeing James in a hoodie doing this.
Yeah.
What? Because he's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's always going on about he's sat in his pants in his shed, nice and cozy and warm.
I haven't had the eating on tonight either. It's been quite nice in here today.
But go on.
I hope it's proper Baltic when he comes up.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. Thanks for that. It's not a struggle. It's not a struggle. And to be honest, it is usually me that says no. We say, what we're going to talk about on next live stream? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And I go, yeah, no. And then literally, a day or two before the Saturday live stream, I think, do you know what? We're going to talk about this. And it's extremely difficult to keep it fresh, to keep everybody entertained, to keep these three guys at the side of me participating in what I want to talk about and what we find, as a group of people, what we're going to do. So it's not putting this together might look like it's a piece of piss, but let me tell you, it's not.
No.
It's not.
It's just a normal chat, isn't it, really?
A normal chat. Whether we've got bad Wi-Fi connections, asking his computers to do too much, and having to disappear halfway through for a heat pack, it makes it all the more interesting.
The thing I enjoy about it most is it's got that feeling of four blokes with the same interest sitting down the pub chatting shite.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's that sort of, well, not shite, but talking as
football.
Yeah, well, it's not talking bollocks or anything, but that's just a phrase I use, talking bollocks. It means you're talking about something that you're talking about everything in the hobby.
Absolutely. For the guys who are going to watch after, if you've got any favourite YouTubers that you watch that we haven't mentioned tonight and you're watching it as a recording, drop your comments in. If you've got anybody that we haven't said that you think that we'd find interesting, that Adi bikes, dioramas, odd aircraft, Paul, armour builder, big scale, 1 in 32, 1 in 35, da-di-da, tanks, armoured, he likes that oddball stuff. James, he has a go. And then me.
1/16th armour, 1/35th armour.
That's the one,
mate. Ding.
Yeah.
Cheers,
yeah.
Cheers for that. And don't forget the boats.
And the boats, yeah, and the boats, plenty of boats. And like I say, it's nice to just sit here and have a chat. What actual time? I'm looking on my screen. What time is it?
3:20, mate.
20 past 11 on a Saturday night. What else could you possibly be doing? Do you know what? I'm going to go in the house and just like literally raid the fridge. I've got Scotch eggs in there, sausage rolls. Proper having it large when I get in. Thanks a lot for that, Pete.
Yeah, cheers, Pete.
Yeah, cheers, Pete. Cheers, Pete.
Yeah, it's good to see him squirm, Pete.
I'm going to bump you off one by one into green room. AD, been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, mate. Cheers,
Stay
boys.
where you are. Stay where you are. I'm just going to bump you off. Okie dokie. Mr. Radcliffe, thank you very much, sir, for your interaction this evening. You've been a superstar as usual.
Later, guys.
Stay where you are. I'll be right back. James, did you enjoy that, mate?
Perfect, mate. Yeah, I tried my hardest to keep on top. I think I did a better job with the comments this time.
Yeah, but what we said other night, you need a little bell, don't you? Ding!
Yeah, little bell. That's right. Yeah, I'd still like Pete to get back to me and tell me what his connection with Tim's models is.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, leave a comment there somewhere so we can see it later on.
Gold beans. Why have I disappeared now?
I don't know. What are you doing?
So I'm back. Right, stay where you are. I'll be back in a minute. And as usual, and my camera's down here tonight, as usual, that brings it back down to me. And it's true what I say. It's absolutely true. Coming up with a fresh idea instead of being stale and stagnant and getting these three guys to be able to interact with subjects that you say, yeah, but we've got it all in common. But it's like what we've just said. James builds the big stuff. I build big aircraft now, 48s, 32s, 24s. You know, Adi does his dioramas and Paul loves his armour. And it's not easy to sort of tie everything together. It's definitely not easy. Okay. And we do end up usually talking about food. You can see I'm wringing my hands because it's starting to get really cold. It's getting close to midnight. And I'm absolutely knackered. And I do have 10 minutes with these guys after. Okay. So what is on my bench next? I think we're just going to cover that. I've got absolutely no idea. When James comes up in a couple of weeks' time, he's going to bring me the Airfix 1 in 24 Typhoon. So I might make a start on that. I have actually been just doing a little bit of a side build, a very easy MQ9 kinetic Reaper. Okay. Just to sort of like fill the void, if you will, in between the tram and the Typhoon that James brings me up in a couple of weeks. Okay. I'm going to pay him in Cadbury's cream eggs. He doesn't know it yet, but shh. I can see him down in his thumbnail now. He's pissing himself laughing. All right. I hope that you've all enjoyed the show. It's been great doing it yet again. I know we've kept you for a long, long time. But it is what it is. Now then, what we got here? Too many good channels to mention. Kitchen Table Modeler, Mike them up it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. There's loads in there. There's loads. I subscribe, but I don't get notifications of every single one because I'm on YouTube every day. I do not watch television. Last time I watched television, Dirty Den were in EastEnders, and that's 25 years since. That's how much I care about watching TV. YouTube is my TV, and watching what I want to watch, and that's why I subscribe. Okay. That'll do. I'm going to go and get the guys back in, and then I can say good night. As usual, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and me and James will see you next time. Tomorrow. Join Sesco Live and have your chance to join in. Absolutely. In fact, yeah, go on. I'll finish off that. Facebook. Search up Sesco Models Live. Join that Facebook page. What you can do there is you can put your own pictures on, etc., etc. And like in the last 10 minutes of this show, where we've scrolled through the people that have put on, you can put on. Not only that, if you post on regular, if you become like a regular sort of participant in that, me and the three guys will have you sat with us on screen. I will send you the link to come and join in the chat, like John Stone has done, John Wisen has done, Mark Lade and Andy Norfolk and everybody else. Join Sesco Models Live, and you can come and join in and be a guest on the show. Can't say fairer than that, can I? Right, go on, bugger off. Catch you later. Cheers.